Chapter 4057. Second more. Little blood sword, Master Shao, let us bring you the scroll of purple blood secret to you, and also let me bring you a word saying that he looks forward to your growth. Three Wings dominated and laughed. Hearing this, the sword had no strange two-sided color, but his heart began to hesitate. If the scroll of the Zishua's secret was given to him by the god's palace, there would be no success, and Jian Wushuang would not accept it. But now it is a personal gift from the Xiao Xiao. If he has nothing to do with the Lord Xiao Xiao himself, in fact, when he was in the Sea of Rules, he had already been instructed by this King Xiao Xiao, and it can be said that he had accepted the favor of the other party. Now the other party just gives him a bigger relationship, and it's clear that the other party's gift to him is only casual, and it does not plan his later return. After all, the three-wing masters also said that the Lord Xiao Xiao is the strongest at the highest level of the divine palace. His strength is among the most powerful and extremely powerful, and it is likely to be a top-level supreme. Although he has talents, he is still very weak now. He is as super-existent as Master Shao. How can he try to reward him like this? That being the case, then please ask Master 3 to thank Master Shao for me. Jian Wushuang said. When he said this, he obviously accepted the gift. That's right. Three Wings dominated and laughed. Jian Wushuang also smiled slightly, but said secretly in his heart, anyway, the Sea of Rules, I have accepted the favor of the Xiao Xiao, and now it is only a greater affection of him. Reaching the Supreme, you can really reach the top of the vast universe, and naturally you will find a way to pay back, but if you can't reach that step, then I can't help it. Blood sword, little friend, this purple blood secret scripture scroll has been given to you. I will go away and wait for the three of them. Three Wings dominated. Thanks a lot. Jian Wushuang thanked him. Soon the three wings dominated the three and left, and Jian Wushuang returned to the spacecraft. As soon as he returned to the cosmic boat, cold as frost and magic flames greeted him immediately. Fu Jun, what did the master just tell you? Leng Rushuang asked. What Jian Wushuang had just said to the Lord of Three Wings briefly recounted. After listening, both Frosty and Magic Flames were a little faint. Purple blood secrets, secrets counted by million source stones? Cold as frost was terrified. Million universe source stones, the net worth of a supreme-class strong man, but so is it. Mo Yen also said, the value is amazing, and it was personally given by the Lord Xiao Xiao, and I have no reason to refuse. Jian Wushuangdo. Master, you really don't need to refuse. The vast universe, there are countless powerful people, but those who are on the top, in the process of their rise, how many people have not endured the favors of others? And who has not received anything else? People help? She's alone, she doesn't even have a friend, she still grows up, she does, but she can have a few. What's more, that Lord Xiao is simply optimistic about your potential and looking forward to your growth, and only to give you some help. This is a kind of friendship, but if you have grown up in strength in the future, just give it back to him. Said Mo Yen. I think so too. Jian Wushuang smiled. Stop talking, I will study the Zishua's secret first. Cosmic boat, a secret room, Jian Wushuang sat quietly in front of him, and in front of him was the big box, which contained 36 square crystal jade neatly. Jian Wushuang directly picked up the first crystal jade. With the sinking of consciousness, a vast message of information was transmitted to Jian Wushuang in an instant. The message of this first piece of crystal jade is not a combination of the laws of the universe and the origin of Kendo, but only some basic and simple applications of the laws of the universe, but even so, Jian Wushuang's head is buzzing, as if he has entered a brand new world. Indeed, as he received the message from the first piece of crystal jade, a brand new door was already in front of him. You know, he didn't know anything about the use of the law of the universe, he just knew that he incorporated the law of the universe into his own attack and enhanced the power of the attack. But now, even if it is just some of the shallowest and simplest applications, it is enough for Jian Wushuang to open it. Time passed, and after half an hour, the two sides of the sword accepted the message in the first crystal jade. After accepting it, he was confused. This is just the first crystal jade, but I can only understand the messages at the beginning, and the application of the rules behind me has made me unable to immediately. Jian Wushuang shook his head, even though he began to accept the second crystal jade's message comes. The second piece of crystal jade has a much larger message, and it was only here that the combination of the laws of the universe and kendo began to be mentioned. It turned out to be a cover? Jian Wushuang suddenly opened his eyes. I always thought that the combination of the laws of the universe and kendo should be divided into primary and secondary. If it is not dominated by the laws of the universe, or it is dominated by kendo, in fact, the laws of the universe and kendo are governed by their own consciousness. The level of sentiment is like the number of an army, and so is kendo, but its own consciousness is definitely this absolute soul, a general-like existence. Consciousness governs the laws of the universe and kendo sentiment. The two are a perfect combination. With a smile on his face, Jian Wushuang continued to accept enlightenment. There are 3 volumes of the Zixue secret, each of which contains 36 crystal jade pieces, of which 12 crystal jade is a heavy realm, that is, the founder of the Zixue secret book will the combination of kendo and the laws of the universe is divided into 9 realms. For the first realm alone, Jian Wushuang needs to fully understand the information in the first 12 crystal jade. In fact, the current sword Wushuang even feels very confused about the first crystal jade. I can't understand it, let alone other crystal jades. However, to the sword's unparalleled surprise, this piece of crystal blood jade has divided the application of the laws of the universe with kendo in a very detailed way. It can be said that the entire process of applying the laws of the universe is combined with kendo to completely analyze. This makes Jian Wushuang understand much simpler. Getting started is also much easier. Like the first crystal jade, Jian Wushuang took only 30 years to fully understand it. Then he continued to enlighten the second crystal jade. The second crystal jade took a lot longer than the first one, but it only took less than 200 years. The third piece of crystal jade and sword Wushuang took 600 years. In a flash, 30,000 years have passed. Chapter 4058. The first is more. Long Shin Xinghe, a galaxy that is wider than Ziwei Xinghe, has more star fields, and is more chaotic. Dragon Shin Xing Hanoi also has a large number of star thieves, and its strength is stronger. There are many star thieves dominated by the 4th and 5th ranks. There are even rumors that Dragon Shin Xing Hanoi even dominates the ultimate level. Within the galaxy. Kill him. A small second-level master dominates. We would be fine without killing him. How dare he take the initiative to provoke us? Court death. There are hundreds of star robbers, like a wasp killing a man in black at the same time in front of Xinghe. The man in black held the sword in one hand, and his shape turned out. Like a ghost, it appeared strangely among those star thieves. The sword shadows seem to be arbitrarily taken out. These sword shadows are not very strong in terms of mere power, but they are abnormal mysteries. The sword shadow was easily chopped on the body of a famous star thief. Those weak first-level or second-level masters could not support a sword at all, so they were directly beheaded and killed, and the body cover was connected. The armor was easily torn apart. Even if the third level dominates, one sword goes down, the treasure armor is torn, and his divine power is instantly killed by annihilation. Although this man in black is only a second-level master, and his outbreak of divine power is only the second-level extreme, but his sword skills, the third-level master, can't resist it. The slaughter is exactly one-sided slaughter. Hundreds of star thieves have been slaughtered for only a few breaths, and only a few star thieves have fled back, seeing the situation is not good. And then, for strong breaths abruptly swept away from the distant void. The 4 men, 3 men and 1 woman, all breathed on the 4th level. Leader! Leader! Seeing the appearance of the 4, the star thieves who were lucky enough to survive, as if they saw a savior, shouted miserably. These 4 are the leaders of this star thief team. In the Shenhua Xinghe, even a small star thief gang has a 4th rank to dominate the town. Now this star thief has 4 ranks to dominate. A second-level master has killed so many of us? He is just a second-level master. The outbreak of divine power is only a second-level master. But his sword skills cannot even stop the third-level master? The Excalibur in his water should be a treasure of the highest quality rules. If one sword goes down, even the strongest treasure can be torn. The 4 leaders who came were extremely cold and stared at Jian Wushuang. Under the cold eyes, they all had the intention of killing. 4 fourth-level masters? That would take a little bit of hands and feet. Jian Wushuang looked up at the 4 people in front of him, but a smile appeared on his face. This smile is very clear. Suddenly, the sword has no body shape. Like a teleportation, it easily crosses the void and appears in front of the 4 leaders. Be careful! All 4 leaders were shocked, because the speed at which Jian Wushuang burst out was very fast. But at the moment they reacted, Jian Wushuang had already sent his sword. Very ordinary and casual sword. In the eyes of the 4 fourth-level masters, this sword is even very slow, soft, as if there is no trace of strength. Such a slow sword, let alone the master. I am afraid that even an ordinary ruler may avoid it. However, when the 4 leaders saw the sword unparalleled and were ready to fight back, they found in horror that their bodies could not move. It's not that it's not moving, it's too slow, slowly, it's just like a snail. Slowly, they can't avoid it at all, and they can't resist the light of the sword that Swordsman is waving. It's not that we are too slow, but his swordsmanship, it's too fast. The thoughts immediately appeared in the minds of the 4 leaders. They widened their eyes and watched the slow, soft sword light chop their necks at the same time. The physical power of the arcane warframe of their bodies has been fully activated, protecting them. However, the sword light was cut, and the Buddha's strongest treasure of the highest treasure, even as a piece of paper, was torn directly by your sword light. The sword light continued unabated, and continued to cut to their body. The sound of Jian Feng's body sounding, 4 huge heads flew up at the same time. The 4 chiefs still carried panic and an incredible amount. They didn't believe it until they died. A second-level master, with just 1 sword, instantly killed 4 of them, even their arcane warframe and their immortal body. No effect. The leader is dead? 1 sword killed 4 leaders? Escape! The star thieves who were lucky enough to survive were even more frightened. They had been frightened and started fleeing wildly. Jian Wushuang did not go after these people again. The ancient spacecraft stopped in the void beside the sword warrior, cold and frosty, and the magic flame came out of the spacecraft. Fu Jun, your strength is much higher than 30,000 years ago. Lung Rushuang laughed. Only using the divine power of the second-ranking master, 1 sword will kill 4 fourth-ranking masters. Master your strength. The magic flame was also extremely amazed. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Dominate the combat power with the 2nd rank. Kill 4 fourth-rank dominators with 1 sword. In fact, this is nothing. You must know that Jian Wushuang has the 5th rank power early on. Even killed Lei Stellar, the 5th-level master. However, the reason why Jian Wushuang has that kind of combat power is that the digital display is because his own divine power is extremely powerful, comparable to the divine power dominated by the 3rd rank, coupled with the willpower given by the laws of the universe, and the power of life and power. The 2 mysteries of the heavenly art, this makes him no worse than any 4th-level master in power. But this time, whether he slaughtered the star thieves or killed the 4 fourth-level masters with 1 sword, his divine power has always been controlled at the 2nd level, and he never used the one given by the laws of the universe. Willpower. In other words, he used the power of an ordinary 2nd series to dominate, and purely relied on his own swordsmanship, as well as his perception and application of the laws of the universe, to kill the 4 4th series dominates. If this step was placed 30,000 years ago, Jian Wushuang would definitely not be able to do it, but with his understanding of the Zishue's secret, the application of the laws of the universe has continued to increase in recent years, and combined with swordplay, his swordplay has been brought into play. More delicate and terrible than the original, several times or nearly 10 times. Only then can he do this. Chapter 4059. 2 more arrived today. Fu Jun, The Zishua's secret comes first. Have you ever mastered it? Leng Rushuang asked. How easy is that? Jian Wushuang shook his head and smiled. The Zishua's secret scrolls the triple realm. The first realm needs to fully understand the first 12 crystal jade, and in these 30,000 years, Jian Wushuang has understood the first 10 crystal jade. The 11th piece of jade is completely close, but the 12th piece of jade is far away. But this purple blood secret is really magical. I only understand the top 10 crystal jade. The application of the law of the universe is still in the basic stage, but the combination of the application of the law of the universe and swordplay has made my swordplay more sophisticated than before as much as 10 times. The power is much stronger. In addition, my improved use of the laws of the universe has actually brought me a new level of mastery of the Wu Weeping Sword. The sword's eyes were shining with a strong light. Wu Wei's divine sword is a top-class rule, and this level of rule is extremely important. However, although Jian Wushuang had comprehended the laws of the universe, he only barely exerted a little power of the Wu Cry Excalibur, but now, with the improvement of his understanding of the laws of the universe, the most important thing is to deepen the application of the laws of the universe. He can already exert the higher power of Wu Cry Excalibur. Because of this, just when he fought with those star thieves, Wu Weeping Sword was chopped on the opponent's body, and the treasured armor of the opponent's body couldn't bear it either directly or it was torn apart. Only the strongest treasures of the treasure level cannot resist the attack of the treasure of the superior rule at all. My application of the laws of the universe is still very low now. When I fully understand the first 12 crystal jade and reach the first realm of the purple blood secret, I am afraid there will still be a big improvement in my strength. Sword Warrior's Secret Road. Of course, he also knew that he was still a step away. Let's continue to smash. This dragon Xinxing Hanoi has countless star theft. There are many strong, but it is just for me as a training experience. Jian Wushuang smiled. The spacecraft continued to glide towards the end of Xinghe. Dragon Xinxing Hanoi has numerous star thefts, and Jian Wushuang completely treats them as experienced opponents. Every time he encounters the Star Thief Gang, he will kill directly and defeat the other side. And when those star thieves fight, Jian Wushuang will not directly leak his strongest strength, but will deliberately maintain his own divine power, and will dominate the power with a normal second level, relying on swordsmanship and the laws of the universe use, and fight with these star thieves. But even so, the ordinary Star Thief Gang still can't stop Jian Wushuang. Even if it is dominated by the 4th grade, Jian Wushuang can easily kill. 200 years passed quickly. In the Longshan Star Field, a bald old man stood in front of Jian Wushuang, and around the two, there were a large number of star thief corpses. These star thieves were just slaughtered by Jian Wushuang relentlessly. But it was only because of the slaughter that he led the bald old man out. You are the blood sword? The bald old man stared coldly, staring at the sword unparalleled. Blood sword, this is the fame that Jian Wushuang reported himself. For nearly hundreds of years, the name of the blood sword was very loud in Dragon Xinxing Hanoi. The reason for this is because during this short period of hundreds of years, the number of star thieves slaughtered by Jian Wushuang did not know how many, and the forces of star thieves were also destroyed by Jian Wushuang a lot. And he also took the spacecraft and repeatedly took the initiative to kill those star thieves. You know, the star thieves in the galaxy are not stupid. Under normal circumstances, they do not dare to proactively see the spacecraft, and as long as the star thieves do not actively provoke them, the strong men in the spacecraft will not bother to care about these stars. But this blood sword is different. Even if the star thieves did not take the initiative to provoke him, he would still go directly to the door and kill the star thieves for no reason. This behavior is obviously a trial of the star thieves. Most importantly, he is only just a second-level master. It is difficult to stay in the spotlight in Xinxing Hanoi. Who are you? Jian Wushuang also looked at the bald old man in front of him. Mord Ancestor, said the bald old man. Sorry, never heard of it, Jian Wushuang said. It doesn't matter if you haven't heard it, you just need to remember the name, because you will soon die in his hands. Mo Hong Ancestor said. Oh, very confident? Jian Wushuang smiled oddly. Huh. The bald old man hummed coldly, followed by a big hand wave, buzzing. I saw a stream of black light quickly condensing in front of him, and in the blink of an eye formed a black 3-meter sword. As soon as the black Excalibur took shape, a vast black power burst out, and the entire galaxy was swept by this dark force, and became completely dim. Sword array! Jian Wushuang frowned. A 5th-level master, seeing me casting a sword array without saying a word, is really worthy of me. Jian Wushuang chuckled, and Wu Wei's Excalibur had already appeared in his hands, and his body also had a strong not weak breath rises. After all, the opponent is the real 5th-level master. Jian Wushuang naturally cannot conceal his strength in order to hone as before, and retain the power of divine power. At the beginning, Jian Wushuang intends to shoot with all his strength. However, the moment the black Excalibur took shape and burst directly at him, Jian Wu's eyes and pupils shrank sharply. He stared at the black Excalibur galloping forward. Among the black Excalibur, the strongest element contained was the power of the Dark Rule. The entire sword array itself was dominated by the Dark Rule. The other major rules were complement each other. But at the moment, Jian Wushuang saw something very subtle in this black divine sword. These things are insignificant, but Jian Wushuang noticed it. And for a moment, Jian Wushuang's mind had some more enlightenment. Is that so? Darkness, essence, details. There was a strong ecstasy in the eyes of Jian Wushuang, but he returned ecstatically, and the black Excalibur galloped without mercy. The endless dark carrier had a tremendous power in a blink of an eye. He rapped the sword unparalleled. Boom! A violent roar, a large amount of dark air smashed frantically with the sword. In this endless darkness, a silhouette stormed out. This figure is the Sword Wushuang who was repelled by the black divine sword. At the moment, although his figure is a little embarrassed, the breath on his body has not weakened at all. And the ecstasy in his eyes did not decrease at all, but was even more intense. Chapter 4060. The first is more. So it is, the trace I have been missing before is just a trace of the essence of the Dark Rule. Jian Wushuang was extremely excited. Dark rules, fusion. The power of a large number of rules on Jian Wushuang rises up, including the rich dark rules, and in the blink of an eye, the power of these rules is all blended together, extremely perfect. At this moment, the swordless twins were all shocked, and their deities, including their own divine power, began to transform instantly. Okay. Mo Hong's ancestor stood in the void in front of Jian Wushuang, but the black divine sword still hovered in front of him with a shocking breath. But Mo Hong's ancestor was already frowning at this moment. I didn't hurt him in that blow, and the breath on his body. Mo Hong's ancestor was a 5th-level master, and his keen perception was so obvious that he could see the sword Wushuang at this moment. It's different. The breath of divine power alone has improved a lot compared to before. Did you break it? Mo Hong's ancestor murmured. Indeed, the current sword is unparalleled, and the breath emanating from his body has reached the 3rd-level dominating level. After taking control of the heavenly will of the gods in the early days, he realized tens of thousands of years. Jian Wushuang finally perfectly integrated the dark rules of the 6th rule, and his own realm also smoothly climbed to the 3rd level. Fu Jun, the host. In the cosmic boat not far away from the sky, the cold and frost and magic flames that have been paying attention to this scene have also noticed the changes in Jian Wushuang's body. Mo Hong, the ancestor, I have to thank you. If it were not for the dark sword array you just cast, I would like to incorporate the 6th rule. I'm afraid it will take a lot of time. Jian Wushuang looked at Mo Hong with a smile. What if you break it? You still have to die. But Mo Hong's ancestor uttered a cold hum, the black divine sword hovering quietly in front of him, and a whine appeared again like a phantom in Jian Wushuang before. A sharp breath of Xian came through, and the power of this black Excalibur was obviously stronger than before. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. He has already broken through, naturally did not want to waste time with this Mo Hong ancestor. I saw Jian Wushuang holding up the Wu-crying Excalibur in his hand, and a vast divine power was instilled directly into the Excalibur. Although he is dominated by the third level, but because of the perfect level of life, his divine power is already at the fourth level, plus the willpower given by the laws of the universe, as well as the power of life and decisive spells. The two mysteries make the sword Wushuang the sword purely in divine power, which is no weaker than any fifth-level master. In other words, Jian Wushuang also cast this sword with the power of the fifth grade. We must know that Jian Wushuang understands the laws of the universe, and even uses them in combination with his swordsmanship. This is impossible to imagine in the fifth series. As a result, a funny scene appeared. Jian Wushuang just raised the long sword in his hand and simply slashed out. He did not perform any great swordsmanship at all, but just slashed the sword at will. It feels as if adults are teaching their children. It's simple. Crazy. Even Mo Hong's ancestor couldn't help anger. But as the Wu Weeping Sword split on the Black Exalted Sword, the power of terror broke out. The Black Excalibur sword formation, which was dominated by Mo Hong's ancestors with the fifth rank, was actually any ability to resist, and it collapsed directly into the sky and the black light dissipated. The sword of Wushuang continued to simply and violently hack at Mo Hong's ancestor. How is that possible? Mo Hong's ancestor glared, but Jian Guang had already split on his head. The Mo Hong ancestor's body surface also has the strongest armor of the treasure, but after Jian Guang split, his armor of the treasure shook slightly and there was no damage, but most of the power in the sword was directly passed through the armor to the body of Mo Hong's ancestor. This powerful force is outrageous, and Mo Hong's ancestor's own deity is not very strong, which causes Mo Hong's ancestor's body to be smashed directly into the sky at this moment. In just a moment, the body of Mo Hong's ancestor was reorganized again. After being reorganized, he did not look at Jian Wushuang anymore, but immediately a large amount of black light emerged from his body, and he turned into a black horror, fleeing to the back in the sky with a crazy speed. Mo Hong ancestor. No way, he had to escape. With just one sword, Jian Wushuang's horrible strength revealed completely scared his gall. 70%. My divine power was suddenly annihilated by 70%. Mo Hong's ancestors were trembling as they fled. Jian Wushuang's simple and rude, seemingly an adult bullying a child, not only defeated his sword array in an instant, but also bombarded his body, smashed his body, and then killed him in full. Into the divine power. How terrible is the power of this sword? Mo Hong's ancestors don't know, but Mo Hong's ancestors know very well that with such a sword, once again he will certainly die. So he can only flee wildly. Seeing him running away, Jian Wushuang did not go hunting again. Looking at your help to break through, I will spare you my life. Jian Wushuang's voice sounded in Mo Hong's ear. Mo Hong's ancestors were relieved, but escaped this void as quickly as possible, and soon disappeared in front of Jian Wushuang. The ancient spacecraft came to Jian Wushuang, and Jian Wushuang swept directly into the spacecraft. Congratulations, husband. Lung Wushuang laughed. Master, congratulations, Mo Yen also said. Ah. Jian Wushuang smiled brightly, and he was very happy. It is a huge leap for him to integrate the sixth rule and break through to reach the third level. Naturally, his own strength will also change dramatically. The power of divine power alone has increased a lot, and as the realm gets higher and higher, he can learn a lot faster whether he is enlightened on Kendo or the law of the universe. Master, you can kill the fifth-level master at the second level. Now you have not only got the scroll of purple blood secret, but you have also reached the third level. Then your current combat power is at the first level. Among the fifth-level masters should be invincible, right? Mo Yen looked over. I do indeed know if there is invincibility in the fifth level of domination, but I dare say that the entire vast universe, except for those who have the same innate advantages as me or have the opportunity to oppose the sky among the masters, there should be few better than me. Jian Wushuang said. Chapter 4061. Second more. The entire vast universe, except for those who have the same great innate advantage as me, or who have the opportunity to oppose the sky, there should be few of them who are better than me in the fifth series. Under normal circumstances, This sentence, spoken from a third-level master, is enough to cause countless practitioners to disdain and sneer. However, Jian Wushuang, who said this sentence, did have this confidence. Now he breaks through to reach the third-level domination. Because of the relationship of the willpower given by the law of the universe, his divine power is not weaker than the ordinary fifth-rank domination. In other words, at the basic level, it is already comparable to the fifth grade. The only difference is that there are not so many rules of integration. But Jian Wushuang's advantage in the law of the universe is too great. The law of the universe is unattainable among the numerous masters that are common to the vast universe. The vast universe dominates countless, but it is rare to truly understand the laws of the universe at the level of domination. And once the master understands the laws of the universe, the advantage is much greater than other masters. But the sword is unparalleled, but it is not only a glimpse of the laws of the universe. His understanding of the laws of the universe has reached a certain level. When the pupil of the bones was large, he was able to break through the 4 layers of the sea before the rule. After obtaining the secret of purple blood, the use of the rules of the universe has been greatly improved, and in combination with kendo, it has definitely possessed the strength to cross the 5th layer of the sea of rules. This level of cosmic law is felt, and it is no less than the ordinary supreme. In this case, he naturally relies on the laws of the universe to crush many fifth-order masters. Like the demon lord who just controls the dark sword and sword formation, his strength is very good. Among the 5th-level masters, he is definitely not the bottom, but belongs to the very strong one. For such masters, Jian Wushuang was indeed a random sword, and it was smashed directly, not even the sword skill. His strength has surpassed the 5th level to dominate a large part. In addition, he still has a lot of whole cards. If he bursts out, even if he is the ultimate level dominator, he will have a confident and positive battle. Because of this, Jian Wushuang dare to say that among the 5th series of the vast universe, he is stronger than him and cannot find a few. Of course, those who have the same innate advantages or have a large background, who have gotten the opportunity to go against the sky, are the exception. Reaching the 3rd level, whether I am aware of the Zishua secret or understand the laws of the universe or enlighten the kendo, they are relatively higher than before. The 1st realm of the Zishua secret, I am sure to reach it within 20,000 years. At that time, my strength will be improved a lot again, and I do need to continue to kill in the Dragon and Xinxing River. I'll rush to the Jiuyao starfield as soon as possible. Sword unparalleled. He passed by the Dragon and Xinxing River. The reason why he actively seeks out the troubles of the star thieves and kills them in the Dragon and Xinxing River is to hone his swordsmanship and the use of the laws of the universe in order to reach Jiuyao Star. The first 12 crystals of the Zishua secret have been realized before the realm, reaching the 1st realm of Zishua secret. After all, his master Xian Yi was rewarded in the Jiuyao starfield, and he was rewarded by a great force, with the ultimate dominator behind him. Jian Wushuang wants to help his master, naturally needs enough strength. Originally his strength was not enough, so he took the time to find more ways to improve his strength, but now, since his realm has broken through, and has already be sure to reach the 1st realm of the Zishua code before arriving at Jiuyao starfield, then naturally there is no need to delay time in the middle. As the Dragon sinks into Hanoi, the spacecraft begins to shuttle at an accelerated speed. The shuttle in the darkness of the universe is extremely long and boring. But the strong man had to endure loneliness. Jian Wushuang and his wife accompanied him all the way, and his mood also surpassed. A flash, another 74,000 years passed. Together with the time before Jian Wushuang swept all the way, it adds up to nearly 100,000 years. During the period, Jian Wushuang passed through the unknown star field, and even the cosmic galaxy passed through 4 full stars. Until now, he finally reached the Jiuyao star field. On the way, Jian Wushuang knew a lot of information about Jiuyao star field long ago. Jiuyao's large star field, although it is also a large star field, is much stronger than the big pupil he has stayed before. The big pupil field has only 2 first-level astral planes, and the strongest one is dominated by 2 ultimate levels. The Jiuyao large star field is closer to the depths of the universe. There are enough 8 In addition, the years of existence of the Jiuyao star field are extremely old, at least much older than the bone pupil star field. Like the bone pupil star field, the two first-order astral universes were born from the universe, and before the two first-order star circles were born, no other first-class star field appeared in the bone pupil star field. Although the real strong ones are Jin Yuxing and Qingyan. However, although there are only 8 first-level astral planes in Jiuyao Great Star Field, before these 8 first-level astral planes, many first-level astral planes have reached the end of their lives and collapsed by themselves, and there are many. However, although the astral world is annihilated, those strong people who stand among the peaks in the astral world can survive. Some of the strong people go to the depths of the universe, while others continue to stay, which leads to 9. There are a lot of strong players in Yaodao Starfield. Like the ultimate level of dominance, the whole Jiuyao Starfield is more than 20 in total, and there are even rumors that there are hidden supremes in the Jiuyao Starfield. Of course, there is no supreme hidden in the end. Few people know this. After all, Jiuyao Starfield has not seen the supreme strong for many years. The 9 strongest stars in the field of Jiuyao are not the 8 first-class stars, but the 4 strongest. Like the Thunder Palace that rewarded his master Xuani at the beginning, it is one of the 4 strongest forces with deep foundations, and the overall strength is superb. Like the ultimate master, there are 3 known in the Thunder Palace. One of them, who is now the throne of the Thunder Palace, is said to be at the top level even if he is the master of the ultimate level. Such a large star field with many strong players, even though Jian Wushuang is now a lot more powerful than before, he has fully understood the first 12 crystal jade of the Zixue secret. Reaching the first level in a realm, you can face the Thunder Palace. Jian Wushuang still feels tremendous pressure. Chapter 4062. The first is more. Jiuyao Starfield, inside Jiudi Pavilion. Hello Swordsman, hello, I am one of the directors of Jiudian Pavilion in Jiuyao Starfield, Fei Xue. A beautiful and graceful woman stood in front of Jian Wushuang, showing a mild smile. Although Jian Wushuang only dominated the 3rd rank, he was on the list of 9 emperors. No matter whether he was in the 9 emperors pavilion of that star field, he was necessarily received by the supervisor himself. Supervisor Fei Xue, I need the treasures on this list. Jian Wushuang took out the list of treasures prepared a long time ago. This list of treasures is naturally the list of treasures needed to cultivate the 4th most important thing of the Supreme Immortal. The beautiful woman Fei Xue took the list, glanced briefly, and nodded slightly. Blood sword little friend, I have all the treasures you want in the Jiuyao Starfield. If you need them now, I can do it as soon as possible. The speed of the fight will be delivered to you in 10 days, but the treasures on this list are of extraordinary value. I estimated that it will be about 8,300 universe primitives, but my friend is my friend of Jiuding Pavilion. Only 8,000 cosmic source stones. Within 10 days? Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. At first, it was only a medium-sized star field in the Ziwei star field. The director of the Ziwei star field, Barmer, needed thousands of years to make up these treasures. But in this 9-star field, it only took 10 days to get together. It can be seen that the gap between large star fields and medium star fields is large. This is the source of 8,000 universes. Jian Wushuang directly took out a ring of heaven and earth. There are indeed 8,000 cosmic source stones in the Qiankuan ring. This is the sword master that killed Lei Hengxing in the Ziwei Xinghe before the sword Wushuang, and the nearly 100,000 years of the universe breaking down, killing countless star thieves come down. On wealth, Jian Wushuang's current net worth will not be lower than those of ordinary level masters. Even if he now took out 8,000 cosmic source stones, he still has various treasure resources worth thousands of cosmic source stones. This is not even the special venom of 1,000 cosmic source stones he got from Jusu. Blood sword friends, rest assured, within 10 days, I will personally send the treasures on this list to you. Fei Xue smiled. Supervisor Fei Xue, this time I came here, in addition to asking for these treasures, I also imagined you asking something. Jian Wushuangdo. My friend is on the list of 9 emperors, and is qualified to share the many information in my 9 emperors pavilion. As long as it is within my authority, I can answer whatever the friend asks. Fei Shui laughed. I want to ask about the reward order issued by Thunder Palace more than 100,000 years ago. Jian Wu Shuangdo. The reward order? Fei Shui stunned, but immediately reacted. The little friend said that the Thunder Palace paid a good price to reward Xianyi? Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. I want to know what happened to the reward order. Bloodsword friend, I know the reward you mentioned. After all, when Thunder God Palace released this reward, because the price of the reward was extremely high, just providing the other party's information and location, you can get a value of 100 sources. The reward of stone, and to capture or kill the opponent, you can get a treasure of the rule of Chinese goods, plus 500 cosmic source stones, such a high reward, which was a big together at the time it was a sensation, and many of the 4th and 5th series dominated it. But as far as I know, although this bounty order has caused a lot of movement, and there are many strong people who pay attention to this bounty order, I have not heard of anyone who got the bounty on the bounty order. Fei Shui rode. Did anyone get a bounty? Jian Wushuang frowned. No one gets a bounty, which means that no one has found his master's place. That is to say, the person on the reward order should be alive by now. Jian Wushuangdo. This isn't necessary. Fei Shui shook his head again. Bloodsword boy, I'm afraid you don't know yet. Just over 3,000 years ago, the Thunder God Palace suddenly revoked the reward order. Revoked? Jian Wushuang stunned. Why revoke? Well. Fei Shui paused, then continued. Under normal circumstances, a hegemonic force like the Thunder God Palace in the Jiuyao starfield, since it is determined to reward each other, it should not stop easily, but now suddenly the reward order has been revoked. There are only two possibilities. One is to know that the other party has already escaped from the Jiuyao starfield long ago, and even escaped to the extremely remote territory. The law involves some distant territories, and it is naturally difficult to help the other party, so the reward is withdrawn. The other possibility is that the person who was offered a reward has been found by the people in Thunder Palace, and has been beheaded, and everyone has died. This reward naturally makes no need for existence. When I heard Blizzard, the sword had no double-sided color and was a bit ugly. He knew that Blizzard was telling the truth, and the Thunder Palace suddenly revoked the reward order. Only the above two possibilities are possible. But these two possibilities may be better if the first one, but if the second one. Jian Wushuang tightened his hands tightly, and his eyes became extremely cold. 9 Emperor Pavilion's intelligence capabilities are there. Is there any way to confirm for me what kind of possibility it is? Jian Wushuang said, looking at Fei Shui. This is not easy. Fei Shui shook his head. Bloodsword friend, as far as I know, the rewarded Xianyi, this conflict with Thunder God Palace is very fierce. It can be said that it attracted the anger of the entire Thunder God Palace, otherwise it would not cause such a big movement. However, although the movement was very large at the beginning, when the Thunder God Palace revoked the reward order, it was very low-key, not even in the 9 how big waves caused by Yaoda Starfield. Thor's palace has never mentioned the reward order to the outside world. I know that you, the Bloodsword friends, attach great importance to this reward. You have also inquired about it, but you have not received any reply. If I am not mistaken, the highest level of the Thunder Palace should be in this matter. It was a forbidden password. Forbidden password? Jian Wushuang frowned. Even Jiudi Pavilion was so influential that it couldn't get any news from Thor's palace. It seems that those who know the final result of the reward should only be those at the top of Thor's palace, and even many top-level strong may not know. Xiaojin Xiaoyu, if you really want to figure out the outcome of this matter, you can only go to those top powerhouses in Thunder God Palace. My Jiudi Pavilion can provide you with a copy of the top powerhouses in Thunder God Palace. It is up to you to decide who your friends are looking for. Fei Shui smiled. Chapter 4063. 2 more arrived today. In addition to the list of the top powerhouses in Jiudi Pavilion, I also need to know that Xianyi, who was rewarded by Thunder Palace, all his information, and the specific contradictions between him and Thunder Palace, and what he did. Sword Wushuangdo. No problem. Fei Shui still nodded, smiling. Soon, Fei Shui passed 2 complete pieces of information to the front of Jian Wu. These 2 pieces of information, one is about the information of the top powerhouses in Thunder God Palace, and the other is about Xuanyi. Jian Wushuang first looked at Xian Yi's information. After seeing the information, Jian Wushuang's brow deepened. According to this information, Xuanyi is a strong man born in the second-order astral world of Jiuyao Starfield. His birth, from the time he started to grow, to the rise, were mentioned, and in great detail, each step of the growth process can be accurately witnessed. Although this process cannot be considered too exciting, it also stumped and grew up, because Xuanyi was not the kind of dazzling super genius when he rose up in the Morrowstar realm. He was relatively mediocre all the way and felt like ordinary that kind. From the beginning of his cultivation to the ruler of the rule, he did not have much fame. Until he reached the level of dominance silently, he gradually gained a certain reputation, and his fame was not because of his strength, but because of his endless variety of means. He has studied all aspects of alchemy, such as alchemy, formation, and soul, and has achieved certain achievements. Some of his methods even make some people who are obviously stronger than him feel headaches. Although the means are good, it is also limited to a Morrowstar world. However, he really famous the entire Jiuyao Star Field, that is, the collision with the Thunder God Palace more than 100,000 years ago. That collision was Xian Yi's battle for fame. From an ordinary master who has only a certain reputation in the Morrowstar world, he has become a situational figure in the whole Jiuyao Star Field and became known to everyone. In that battle, Xian Yi dominated the battle force with his 3rd rank, not only killed the 4th rank of the throne, but most importantly he also killed a super thunder of the Thunder Palace. Genius Thunder Wing. At that time, Thunder Wing was recognized as the first genius of the Thunder God Palace and even the entire Jiuyao Starfield. Although it was only the 3rd level master, it had already realized a bit of the universe's laws early. In addition, it was the personal biography of the Lord of the Thunder Palace. One of the disciples has a lot of resources to cultivate and the potential is limitless. But in the battle 100,000 years ago, this Thunder Wing was killed by Xian Yi directly. Maybe this Thunder Wing himself can't think of it, he is also the 3rd level master. He is the first genius recognized in the entire star field, and he will die in the hands of the other. It is precisely because of the death of Thunder Wing that Thor's shrine is completely furious, and then there will be a reward that will make the whole Jiuyao Star Field sensational. The first genius who killed that Thunder Palace, or the disciple of the Throne Palace Master, is no wonder that Thunder Palace will be furious. Jian Wushuang nodded secretly. That Thunder Wing, after all, realized a trace of the laws of the universe. You know, even in the big star field, it is extremely difficult to have a master who understands the laws of the universe. Like the big pupil of the bone pupil, an emperor who realized a glimpse of the laws of the universe finally appeared and was immediately accepted by the Qingyan star as a personal disciple, and the hostile Jinyu star was willing to pay great the price, but still cannot find the second master of the rules of the universe. Although the Thunder Wing comes from the Thunder God Palace and has many resources cultivated by the Thunder God Palace, it is already amazing to be able to comprehend a little of the law of the universe at the 3rd level. Such a genius, Thunder God Palace will definitely be regarded as a baby, but unfortunately this baby was killed by Xian. As for why Xian Yi killed him suddenly for a woman, Jian Wushuang showed surprise. Because in his impression, his master is basically the kind of desireless. He has contacted his master for so many years, and has never heard of what woman his master has to do with. But now, his master Xian Yi would kill someone for a woman, and he still killed the super genius of Thunder God Palace. The relationship between this woman named Aba and Master Shi is unusual. Jian Wushuang looked at the woman named Aba mentioned in the information. And after his master Xian Yi beheaded and killed that Thunder Wing, he disappeared with the woman, and even Jyoti Pavilion could not find their place. This is all the information about his master Xian Yi in this Jiuyao Star Field, and the festival between Thunder God Palace. What makes the sword unparalleled is that the rise of his master in these 9 star fields is indeed so clear that the whole process has been verified, and his years of life are still very old, as if he did indeed it was born in the Juyao starfield and has always lived in the Juyao starfield. But if he was born in Juyao and stayed in Juyao, what is Xuanyi in the beginning of God? In Juyao Great Star, Xuanyi, who was rewarded by the Thunder Palace, is exactly the same as master in both appearance and body. There is no doubt that he is master, but he has always stayed in Juyao Great Star. Obviously never left. What is going on? Jian Wushuang frowned. Is it a clone? Jian Wushuang could not help thinking. But soon he shook his head. His master Xuanyi has always been inscrutable, mysterious, and various methods all make Jian Wushuang feel incredible. Even if he now has the ultimate dominance, his master is still a huge mystery in his heart. The more he contacted this mystery, the more he became puzzled. To really solve this mystery, maybe he would only see Xuanyi again in person. But now his master does not know if he is still in the Juyao starfield. As for whether he has been found and killed by the people in Thunder Palace, that sword Wushuang is definitely not convinced. I believe what kind of master he is. Although the strength of the Thunder Palace is extraordinary, he may not be able to kill him by a small margin. But even if his master is still alive, he does not know where it is, and the only person who is likely to know his master's whereabouts are the highest levels of Thor's temple. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang immediately looked at the second piece of information in front of those who are at the top of the Thunder Palace. Immediately, Jian Wushuang began to browse the information of the strongest person in the Thunder Palace. Chapter 4064. The first is more. Thunder Palace, as one of the 4 strongest forces in the Juyao starfield, has many powerful men. Like the strongest who dominates the 4th level and above, there are hundreds of Thor palaces. However, among these many powerful people, those who can really be called the highest level are estimated to have more than 10 people. And Jian Wushuang is now looking at the information of more than 10 people. Among the more than 10 people, the strength is the strongest, that is, the 3 ultimate level masters of the Thunder God Palace, and the sword Wushuang is directly ignored. After all, although he is very powerful now, he can fight a head-on battle at the ultimate level, but it is only a head-on battle, but he cannot win or kill the opponent, and naturally he cannot get what he wants from the opponent. Message. Therefore, Jian Wushuang can only choose the remaining strongest players whose strength is at the 5th level. Jian Wushuang quickly found a target suitable for him. The first law enforcement elder of Thunder Palace, King Emperor Rain. Jian Wushuang looked at the information in front of him. Thunder Palace, as one of the strongest forces in the Juyao starfield, not only has a large number of powerful people, but also the territory under His Majesty's control. Like the 8 first-level astral planes in the Juyao starfield, which are still in the operational stage, Thor's palace occupies a full 2. In addition, there are a large number of second-level astrology and third-order astrals in the Juyao starfield. The astral world is also under the control of the Thunder Palace. Controlling such a large territory naturally will inevitably deal with emergencies in those territories. Therefore, in the Thunder God Palace, there is a temple of law enforcement. There are a large number of deacons in the temple of law enforcement, as well as a few law enforcement elders. All of them are powerful men. Whenever something happens in the territory of His Majesty's palace, if it can't be resolved, the strong in the temple of law enforcement will appear, and if a major event occurs, the law enforcement elder will take the shot himself. You know, all the law enforcement elders in the law enforcement temple are dominated by the 5th level. As the first law enforcement elder of the law enforcement temple and the owner of the entire law enforcement temple, the Emperor Rain is naturally a member of the highest level of the Thunder Temple, and his combat power has reached the extreme of the 5th level. In the palace, enough to rank 5th. Because of this Emperor Rain's status in the Thunder God Palace, second only to those 3 ultimate level masters, he must be the one who knows the result of the reward. Jian Wu's eyes flashed a strange light. In fact, in the list of strong men that Blizzard gave him, there are still a few people who are qualified to know the result of the reward. The reason why Jian Wushuang chose the Emperor Reign is mainly because of the position of the Emperor Reign. It is the first law enforcement elder of Thor's palace. Since they are law enforcement elders, they must definitely go out to perform tasks. Like some of the other top powerhouses on the list, most of them are in the old nest of Thor's palace, or in some important places. It is not so easy for Jian Wushuang to want to deal with them. Only this Emperor Reign King is relatively easy to get started. As long as Jian Wushuang takes a little effort, it is estimated that he will be able to lead him out and let him come home. Although the Emperor Reign King has the 5th level peak combat power, with my current strength, it should not be difficult to win him. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes slightly and already made a decision. However, Jian Wushuang did not leave directly, but waited for 10 days in the Jiodi Pavilion. 10 days later, Fei Shui personally delivered the many treasures needed for the 4th tier of the Supreme Immortal Mystic Body to Jian Wushuang in front of him, and in addition brought Jian Wushuang a top-quality rule armor. This rule was purchased by Jian Wushuang, who spent nearly 2,000 cosmic source stones on himself. He also bought one for his wife as cold as frost. Although he has now acquired the treasure of the Supreme Immortal Shen Body, he can cultivate into the Supreme Immortal Shen Body by spending some time and energy. At that time, his body is enough to be comparable to the general rule of inferiority. However, there is a rule that the armor-level armor is still a great improvement on his body protection ability. The most important thing is that he can procure the power in the treasure armor, which will also help to improve his own strength. After getting what he wanted, Jian Wushuang left Jiodi Pavilion. Fu Jun, are we going to deal directly with that Emperor Reign now, or should we first find a place where you can practice the 4th most important thing in the Supreme Immortal? Leng Rushuang asked. Go first against that Emperor Reign King. As for the 4th priority of the Supreme Immortal Mystic Body, although you have already obtained the treasures to assist in cultivation, but I really need a lot of time to really make this heavy mystery. At least it will be 1 or 2,000 years, and I can't wait that long. Jian Wushuangdo. 8,000 or 2,000? Cold as frost. In his opinion, with his husband's talents and understanding, and received auxiliary cultivation treasures, it should be very easy to make the secret technique, but he did not expect that it would take so long. It's normal. I practiced the 2nd and 3rd tiers alone. I practiced in the Tower of Time and Space with a flow rate of 1,000 times for more than 10,000 years. This 4th tier is more difficult than the first 3 tiers. It's easier to understand, but it takes time. Jian Wushuangdo. That being the case, then go against that Emperor Reign King. Husband, how do you plan to draw that Emperor Reign King out? Leng Rushuang asked. It's easy. I looked at the information of this Emperor Reign before and knew that he had a disciple standing in a 2nd-level astral circle under the throne of Thunder God Palace. Although there were many disciples of that Emperor Reign, this one was it is one of his many disciples. If we kill his disciple directly, he will naturally come out and kill us. Then we will take another shot to capture him. Jian Wushuang laughed. Good idea. Leng Rushuang smiled and nodded. The 3 of them immediately set off. There are countless astral circles in Jiuyao, and there are many 2nd-level astral circles. And in one of the extraordinary secondary astral circles, there is a towering building group on the top of the mountain. This building group is extremely magnificent, especially one of the ancient purple giant towers, which is directly inserted into the sky above, just like a heavenly palace. Keep everything in this astral world. In the void outside the high mountains, Jian Wushuang and Frost stood side by side, while Demon Flame stood behind Jian Wushuang. Magic Flame, when I was on my way, I swallowed a lot of special spar. Your cultivation has been restored to the 5th level, and your combat power should be the top one in the 5th level. This is the disciple whose shot you have to deal with. The Emperor Yu is best suited. Go. Jian Wushuang instructed. Yes. Moyan nodded, and immediately looted toward the towering building complex on the mountain. Chapter 4065. Second more. Just a moment later. Boom! The terrible roar, with the shaking of heaven and earth, rang through the void. The towering building complex on the top of the mountain turned into a ruin in a blink of an eye, and countless silhouettes looted from the ruin. Blood Thundercliff, you didn't expect my flame to come back alive? Billions of years ago, you destroyed my ancestors and killed my parents, and today I want you blood and blood. All of you, you have to die. The icy voice of endless killing spread from the tall black man in the void above. This tall man in black is breathtaking, like a black demon, suppressing everything below. The countless practitioners who rushed out of the building complex saw the tall man in black, and his face changed dramatically. It's too strong. It only defeated my Blood Thundercliff's defensive formation with just one move. This strength must be dominated by the 5th series, and I am afraid that it is still the very strong one in the 5th series. The strong man is obviously here to get revenge. We're done. Escape, hurry up. Panic sounded, and countless practitioners of Blood Thundercliff began to flee wildly. Blood Thundercliff is actually a part of Thor's palace in this secondary astral world, and it controls everything in this secondary astral world. However, if such a party wants to completely rule the entire secondary astral realm, it will inevitably destroy a lot of hostile sections. After a long time, the number of sects destroyed by Blood Thundercliff is countless, and their enemies are countless. It's just that Shuele Ya's strength is very strong. The 4th rank alone dominates. Shuele Ya itself has 2. Thunder Palace also sent 1, and there are 3 full 4th rank masters. In a second-level astral world can definitely dominate the king. Therefore, for a long time, none of the enemies of Blood Thundercliff dared to come to the door. It is precisely because of this that the magic flame will come to the door as the enemy of Blood Thundercliff, which can also reduce the defense of Thunder God Palace. Boom! The black demon in the uppermost void shot directly, and he shot like lightning, easily killing those who escaped one by one. And while beating these strong men, his eyes have long been on someone. It was a grim man wearing a silver armor. The grim man was also fleeing, and he deliberately concealed his breath, and the means of concealing it was quite clever. If it wasn't for the flames already knowing his looks and strength, if he had followed him early in the morning, he might have let him slip away. The magic flame appeared as if it were teleporting, and appeared directly in front of the stern man in the silver armor. The cold killing intention was instantly covered by the stern man. Not good. The cold-faced man's complexion changed greatly. When he saw the flames in front of him, he was ready to take a shot. He shouted, "Stop, I'm from Thor's palace. My teacher is King Rain's first law enforcement elder Emperor King. Dare you kill me, my master will never let you go." Thunder Palace? Emperor Rain King? Moyen frowned, but was secretly laughing. The cold-hearted man even moved Thunder God Palace and Emperor Yu to threaten him at a critical moment, which was even more like the wish of a magic flame. Well, what kind of Thunder Palace, Emperor Rain King? I have never heard of it. You still die. Mo Yen shot without hesitation. Do not. The cold poly man made a terrible cry. Under the crush of absolute strength, he failed to support the 2 moves at all, and was killed on the spot by Demon Flame. After killing the cold and stern man, this Demon Flame did another look, and went on to hunt down the strong thugs in Blood Thundercliff. When the practitioners in Blood Thundercliff had all escaped, they stopped. "Master, as you have commanded, you have killed the disciple of Emperor Yu. What should I do next?" Moyen whispered to Jian Wushuang. "Don't worry, just stay in this Blood Thundercliff and pretend to look for those treasures accumulated during the long search of Blood Thundercliff. It is no surprise that the Emperor Rain will soon get the news, and the most come fast, and I will capture him again." Jian Wushuangdo. Moyen nodded. Immediately he followed the command of Jian Wushuang, and began to search for blood in the Cliff of Blood Thunder. As expected by Jian Wushuang, soon after the cold man died, the Emperor Rain, who was far away in the throne of Thunder God Palace, was immediately informed. Inside the Shrine of Law Enforcement. "Jack!" A low drink blasted loudly in the void, and a violent breath suddenly rose up. "The 3rd elder and the 8th elder, follow me," the voice said. Soon, the 3 silhouettes rushed out of the Temple of Law Enforcement. The 3 silhouettes that were taken out at the same time, The other two were okay, but the one that was headed by them was shocking. Wherever he goes, the strong thunder gods in the surrounding area can feel the killing intention that he can't hide. What happened? King Emperor, what's wrong? Who knows what might be wrong? Many practitioners in Thunder Palace talk about it. And just then, "Do you?" An old voice suddenly sounded. The three figures stopped immediately. The head of the blond and burly man was originally filled with a ferocious color that could not be concealed, but when he saw the old figure before him, the ferocious look in his eyes also slightly converged. Big Elder. The two law enforcement elders behind King Diu saluted respectfully. "Diu, what's the matter?" the old figure asked. "Ichinji. He was killed." Emperor Yu mumbled. "True? The little guy is dead?" The old figure frowned slightly, and he could understand why the Emperor Rain was so angry. There are indeed a lot of disciples under His Majesty the Emperor Rain, but there are only a handful of truly successful ones, and that Shinji is undoubtedly the best one among His Majesty the Emperor's reign, and he is now the 4th grade master. In the future, there is a complete opportunity to reach the 5th grade, and he can even take his class and become the new first law enforcement elder of the Law Enforcement Temple. The Emperor Rain also looked at this disciple very seriously. "Who killed the little guy?" asked the old figure. "It's a 5th-level dominator who doesn't know where to come from. It seems to be a big grudge with the forces of the next branch of my Thunder Palace. He has been fleeing before. Now that his strength has broken, he ran back to revenge. I happened to be guarding there all these years, so I suffered from seedlings." King Emperor Rain gritted his teeth. "Is that so?" The old figure was clear. "Elder, I won't tell you, and if you delay, the guy will run away." Emperor Yu was very anxious and immediately took his 2 law enforcement elders towards the 2nd level of the astral world. After the Emperor Yu left, the old figure frowned, thinking. There was something at night. The update was a bit late, and it was not too late. Chapter 4066. The first is more. On the top of the mountain, the Blood Thunder Cliff that has completely turned into a ruin, only the magic flame is still searching for treasures in that ruin. But not long after the magic flame overwhelmed the Blood Thunder Cliff, 3 powerful figures came. "Come here so fast?" Moyen looked up, looking at the 3 people who were here at the moment. All 3 are dominated by the 5th rank, and the person headed by them has reached the extreme of the 5th rank, and immediately after this person arrives, he has a breath of extreme violence and looks at the magic. Hamura's eyes were full of hatred and anger. "Who are you?" Although I knew it from the bottom of my heart, Mo Yen asked it for some reason. Killed so many people in His Majesty's palace, the most important thing is to also kill the disciples of this seat. You don't even know who this seat is? The Emperor Rain stared at the demon flame. His eyes seemed to be sparking. "You are the Emperor Rain King?" Demon Flame appeared in surprise. "Now that you know, let's take your life and kill him together." As the first law enforcement elder of the Thunder God Palace, Emperor Yu has always acted fiercely. He simply did not have any nonsense with Moyen, and shot it directly. Not only did King Emperor Yu take the shot, but also the other 2 law enforcement elders who came with him this time, also shot at the same time and killed the flames. The 3 5th-rank dominators, all of which are at the top of the 5th-rank dominator, especially the Emperor Rain has reached the extreme of the 5th-ranked dominator. The 3 shot at the same time, and the momentum was too great. The magic flame was cold, and it was not afraid, and went directly to confront the 3 masters. Boom! I only heard the sound of a roar of trembling sounds. This already turned into a ruined Blood Thunder Cliff, and once again suffered unprecedented destruction, becoming even more terrible. In the void not far from the Blood Thunder Cliff, Jian Wushuang stood side by side with cold as frost, and their eyes could directly see the battlefield ahead. Anyway, they are the 3 top-level masters of the 5th series. Among them, the Emperor Rain King is second only to the Ultimate Master. The 3 of them joined forces. He is afraid that he cannot resist the flames. Lung Wushuang said, Jian Wushuang also nodded slightly. After all, the flame of the demon flame has just recovered to 50%, and the state of cultivation has only barely reached the 5th level. Although it depends on the memory and means of the ultimate level, there is also a 5th level. It has the highest combat power, but at best it is equivalent to Emperor Rain King, and now it is 1 enemy and 3, and it is indeed at a disadvantage. Shuang, you are waiting here, I will help the magic flame. Jian Wushuang commanded. Good. Nodded coldly. Swordless twins swept straight ahead. Only momentarily, Jian Wushuang appeared on the battlefield. When he appeared, the flames that had been fighting the 3 law enforcement elders immediately stopped and came behind him. Master! Mo Yen shouted respectfully. Tough work. Jian Wushuang said. The simple communication was not secretive, and they all heard in the ears of the 3 Emperor Rain Kings. The host! The Emperor Rain could not help but stumble. This mysterious strong man who destroyed Blood Thundercliff with 1 hand and killed my disciples with the same combat power as my own, actually called the 3rd level master in front of him? Emperor, you felt a little incredible. The same was true of the 2 law enforcement elders next to him. Imperial King, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. How long have you been waiting for me? The King of Emperor Rain moved his expression, but immediately followed his pupils. The one who really hates Shuelia is you? My disciple, is this slave you made you kill? Your disciple did let me kill him. As for me and Shuelia, there is no resentment. The reason why I let him act like this is to lead you here. Jian Wushuang smiled. Emperor Ye's face suddenly changed. He wasn't a fool, either, and he immediately reacted when he heard Jian Wushuang's words. At present, the mysterious practitioner who cannot see the depths but has the 5th level top master as a slave, the real purpose is not for Blood Thundercliff at all, but for him. The destruction of the Blood Thundercliff and the beheading of his disciples were only for the purpose of bringing him here from the old nest of Thunder God Palace. Kill this disciple, dare to count it? Boy, you really want to die. The Emperor Rain was completely furious. He was an atrocious by nature, so he would be the 1st law enforcement elder of Thor's palace, responsible for external law enforcement. Now knowing that he was dominated by a 3rd order number, he was naturally furious. Boom! Emperor Yu shot again, and the other 2 law enforcement elders beside him also shot at the same time. The 3 of them all had an astonishing killing intention, all condensed on Jian Wushuang, but although they were eager to kill Jian Wushuang, they devoted a large part of their energy to the magic flame behind Jian Wushuang. Because Jian Wushuang is obviously only a 3rd level master, they are not at all concerned. Instead, it is the sword of Wushuo, the slave flame. They have just fought a short time, and they know that the strength of the opponent is also very terrible. But at this moment, the 3rd level master who did not need to care in their eyes, that is, Jian Wushuang, was moving. He took out the Wu weapon sword, his body suddenly flickered. Put, 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 put. Ha! The vast void is full of dense shadows reminiscent of warriors. These shadows are crisscrossing thousands of words. The distant distance spans directly, and the Wu weapon sword without hands in the sword is also directly swept out. The eyes of Emperor Yu and the 2 law enforcement elders were instantly frozen on the sword sung by Wushuang. The sword gave them a very strange feeling. It was a slow, soft sword, as if feeling the slightest strength, but it was such a sword, but the 3 of them hit directly in their hearts. A chill. The icy sword edge swept directly from the 3 body deities. Suddenly 2 of the precious armors on the surface of the human body were directly torn apart, and the terrible sword shadow power defeated their deities on the spot, and they were annihilating their divine power with madness. Under the impact of that sword shadow, the divine power of the 2 law enforcement elders was instantly annihilated by more than 70%. As for the Emperor Rain King, as a member of the highest level of the Thunder God Palace, not only is he much stronger, but he also has a sublime rule, the treasure armor, and Jian Wushuang can now play the Wu Weeping Sword. Part of the power can easily tear the general's strongest treasure battle armor, but in the face of the rule of the best treasure battle armor, cannot be torn open directly, So although this sword brought great damage to the Emperor Rain King, but not suddenly lost more than 70% of the body. But such a sword has completely closed the three of them. Chapter 4067. Second more. How can it be? A third-level master dominates me with a single sword, killing me nearly 70% of my power? This is impossible. The two law enforcement elders were frightened, and their eyes stared at Jian Wushuang. How can his strength be so strong, and his swordplay too fast? Even I have no qualification to resist a third-level master. How can it be so terrible? It was incredible looking at Jian Wushuang. However, he did not know that Jian Wushuang had beheaded and killed the fifth-ranking master as early as the second-ranking master. Later, after he broke through and reached the third level, the divine power is not weaker than the general fifth level. With the huge advantage of the rule, he can bully a child like an adult, and easily kill the fifth level. Number dominates. In addition, he also received the Zixue secret, and he has a certain ability to apply the laws of the universe. He can even perfectly integrate the laws of the universe with his kendo, reaching the first state of the Zixue secret. As soon as this first realm was reached, his overall strength increased again. Now, he has already surpassed the fifth-level dominance in his combat ability, and even if compared with the ultimate level dominance, there is an endless difference. And because of the perfect combination of the laws of the universe and his own kendo, his swordplay is so exquisite, I am afraid that even the ultimate masters who are good at kendo are far less scary in swordplay. Naturally, he can easily kill these fifth-level masters. Even the master of the fifth level, at most, can only take the sword Wushuang 1 or 2 swords. You can pick me up without a sword. The three of you are already very good in the fifth level, but one sword is not enough. What about another sword? Jian Wushuang smiled but raised it again, the Wu-crying Excalibur in his hand. Not good. The three kings of Emperor Yes' faces changed dramatically. Escape, escape. Emperor Yu sighed. At this moment, King Emperor Rain was not thinking of revenge for his disciple. He knew very well that the opponent's strength was so arrogant and apparently directed at him, so he was naturally ready. If it is an accident today, it is likely that his Emperor Rain King will be planted directly here, not to mention the two elders who are not as good as his law enforcement elders. With the cry of Emperor Rain, all three figures fled at the same time. But that's exactly what Emperor Yu said. Since Jian Wushuang had brought him in deliberately, naturally he was ready. Would he give them a chance to escape? When I saw Jian Wushuang's thoughts, 3 towering golden stone monuments rose instantly. Sanzuan Town Tianbei appeared at the same time from 3 different voids around the Blood Thunder Cliff. Apparently, Jian Wushuang laid the 3 stone monuments there, and only when the Emperor Rain King fell into the trap, they immediately triggered. Sure enough, now that Jian Wushuang has triggered the 3 town monuments, the gods and magic towns are immediately urged to cover the vast void, and naturally the 3 Emperor Rain Kings are completely covered within the magic array. That terrible repressive force acted directly on the 3 Emperor Rain Kings. As soon as the magic town Tianfa formation took shape, it had completely prevented the 3 people from escaping. It's not good, it's the suppression of the legal array, and it really has been prepared. Emperor Yu looked extremely ugly. He could tell at a glance that the 3 golden steels were the treasure of the law of suppression. How powerful is the repressive circle that was simultaneously launched by the 3 repressive laws Jibao? How do they break through the 3 fifth ranks? There is also this terrible repressive force that acts directly on them, and for a time, all 3 of Emperor Yu feel despair. By this time, Jian Wushuang had caught up. Before, there was no restraint from the devil and the heavenly formation. The 3 of them did not have the ability to resist the swordsmanship. Now, under the power of God and magic, the strength of the 3 of them has been greatly suppressed, but Jian Wushuang's own strength has been improved again. Now he is performing sword art. The 2 ordinary law enforcement elders had no time to send out a scream, and the body collapsed again, and this time their body had no chance to regroup again and was directly killed. As for Emperor Rain, his bearing capacity is indeed much stronger than those of the 2 law enforcement elders. However, after these two swords have come down, his power has also been wiped out by nearly 50%. If Jian Wushuang has a few more swords, he no doubt. The Emperor Rain no longer saw his hope of escape, but his eyes were still cold and violently staring at Jian Wushuang, and he said sharply, "Boy, what are my grievances with you? Why do you count me so? Even if it's death, you have to make me understand." Resentment? No, I have no resentment against you before. The reason why I will come to fight you this time is because you are the first law enforcement elder of Thor's palace, but one of the highest levels of Thor's palace. Jian Wushuang laughed. What? Emperor Yes gaze fixed. Are you revenge on mine? No, I just want to know something from your mouth. I'll ask you now. If your answer can satisfy me, maybe I can let you go. Jian Wushuang smiled. King Du looked at Jian Wushuang stubbornly. He wanted to see if Jian Wushuang was lying, but it was obvious that Jian Wushuang was not lying. What do you want to know? Xinyu Wang asked Shen Sheng. More than 100,000 years ago, on the first day of your Thunder Palace, Thunder Wing was beheaded, and then your Throne Palace issued a reward order, which caused a great sensation in the entire Jiuyao starfield. Not long ago, your Thunder Palace was extremely low-key. The reward order was removed. Why is that? There is the person who is on the reward order. What is happening now? Jian Wushuang looked at the Emperor Rain King. Bonus order? Emperor Yu looked at Jian Wushuang in amazement. You came for the person who received the bounty order? Good. Jian Wushuang did not deny. Oh, that's the case. I'm surprised that my Thunder Palace is the absolute overlord in the Jiuyao starfield. Although there are enemies, there are only a few that can really threaten my Thunder Palace. Among the many potential enemies in the palace, it must be the strongest one, but I did not get a little message before the Thunder God Palace, which is obviously illogical, and now it seems that you should not be a practitioner of the Jiuyao starfield. It comes from other star domains, and your relationship with that Xuani should be extraordinary. Emperor Yu laughed. I'm asking you, what is the whereabouts of the man on the reward? Jian Wu's eyes were cold. Chapter 4068. The first is more. Boy, do you think you are here to answer your question honestly? Who are you, Supreme? King Emperor mocked. It doesn't matter if you don't say it now. When you are suppressed, there will be time to ask you slowly. Jian Wushuang did not follow the Emperor Rain King. I saw him waving his hand, and the 3 town monuments in the void around him instantly. Dazzling golden light erupted. On the town monument, 3 huge golden gods and ghosts condensed together, and the already powerful suppressive force has soared again. The law of repression is precious? Emperor Yu's eyes narrowed. The law of repression is extremely precious, and its repressive power is extremely powerful. Now he has more than half left and can barely resist this repression. Once reinflicted and into a weak stage, Jian Wushuang can completely control the repression of the law. Suppress him completely, life and death are under the control of each other. You want to suppress this seat, you dream. The Emperor Yu growled, struggling hard in the magic circle of heaven and magic. However, the magic devil's heavenly formation, which is a powerful repressive magic circle performed by the 3 town monuments at the same time, and then by the sword Wushuang himself, this Emperor Rain King can't escape the repressive power of this magical devil's heavenly formation. At the same time, Jian Wushuang also decisively shot. I saw a sword of light, all Xian Alma dynasty Emperor Rain King beheaded. These sword lights, with strong cosmic laws, unpredictable and fast speed, the Emperor Rain reluctantly can only resist 1 or 2, but the rest is still standing on his body relentlessly. After 1 sword, 2 swords, and just a few swords, the power of Emperor Rain has been annihilated by more than 80%, and the breath has become extremely weak. In this case, it is extremely difficult for him to resist the repressive power of the gods and magic heavens. But at this moment, the mutation suddenly occurred. Boom! A pale palm appeared out of thin air. This palm was infinitely enlarged in the void, and almost for a moment it forcibly ripped a hole in the heavenly array of gods and demons town, and soon caught the Emperor Rain King. The entire town of gods and demons shook madly, and the 3 golden ghosts on that monument in the town also fainted slightly, and the whole array nearly collapsed. Ha! Jian Wushuang frowned. With his current strength, he fully controlled the magic town Tianfa array displayed by the 3 statues of the town Tianbei, but was forcibly torn apart, and even almost collapsed. The strength of the other party is not trivial. Once the old figure has appeared in the circle, he is standing beside the Emperor Rain King. Elder. Seeing the people, he was already very weak, and the Emperor Rain King, who was almost desperate in his heart, was overjoyed, and his eyes were flashing a bright light again. Big Elder? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed. He knows many of the highest level materials in the Thunder Palace, and the 3 who have the most strength and the highest status are the 3 ultimate level masters. The elders of Thor's palace are one of those 3 ultimate masters. Does the ultimate level dominate? Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, but his heart was very surprised. When I shot, I had completely blocked the surrounding time and space. Although this Emperor Rain King was in a desperate situation, he could not call for help. Yes, and even if he can ask for help, the senior men in Thor's palace cannot arrive so soon, but the elder. How did he know that Emperor Yu was in crisis, and how could he get here in time? Jian Wushuang was puzzled. But in fact, not only him, even the Emperor Rain King, was shocked at the moment. Elder, why did you come here? King Diyu asked. When the old man saw you in the palace, I already saw something wrong. The old figure said, I have a long time in the Thunder Palace in Jiuyao, and there are many enemies, but these enemies there are only a handful of ones who have reached the 5th level. Under the strength of my Thunder Palace, these enemies usually hide, and it is not bad for me to go to the Thunder Palace to actively kill them. Who has the courage? Do you dare to avenge my Thunder Palace directly? And this time, a strong man without any fame suddenly shot and destroyed the Blood Thunder Cliff, and it happened that your disciple Zhenhuang was also there, which is a coincidence. So, when you hurried out to take revenge for your disciples, just in case the old man followed him quietly, unfortunately the old man's speed was a little slower, only to save you, but failed to enforce the 2. The elders also rescued. The elder of Thunder Palace sighed. Regardless of the 3 Emperor Rain Kings, or the elder of Thunder Palace, all reached this secondary astral world through the cosmic passage. But the same cosmic channel, once activated, takes a while to start a second time, and this is the time to wait for a while to delay the elder of Thunder Palace. In addition, Jian Wushuang's strength is too strong and the speed is too fast. When the elder of Thunder God Palace really arrived, the 2 law enforcement elders were dead, but the simple Emperor Rain was still alive and had not been completely suppressed. The elder, this is the man who killed Zhenhuang, the 3rd and 8th law enforcement elders, and if the elders did not arrive in time, I am afraid that I will die in his hands. Suppressed. King Diyu stared at Jian Wushuang hard, gritted his teeth and cut his teeth. The elder of Thunder God Palace, his gaze has already focused on Jian Wushuang. Dominated by the 3rd series? The murky eyes of the elder of Thunder Palace narrowed slightly. Elder, don't look at him as a 3rd level master, but his strength is very terrible. The 3rd and 8th law enforcement elders were beheaded by him with just 2 swords. His battle force is definitely the most extreme of the 5th series, even stronger than me. Emperor Yu said. It can be seen that if he does not have enough strength, he is not so brave enough to count the 1st law enforcement elder of my Thunder Palace. The elder of Thunder Palace became cold, although I don't know who you are, but since you dare count my Thunder Palace, then leave your life today. Oh, very confident? Jian Wushuang's mouth was awkward. Boom! The elder Thor's shrine shot straight, and he didn't move too much, just a simple flip. Buzzing instantly. A lot of divine power, with the power of endless rules, quickly condensed above the void, and in the blink of an eye formed a giant jade-like hand. This towering giant occupies most of the sky, and Jian Wushuang is under the cover of this big hand. He raised his head and could very clearly sense the breath of destruction in that big hand. Chapter 4069. 2 more arrived today. This is the ultimate dominating strength? Jian Wu's eyes had a hint of surprise. The ultimate level dominates, he has contacted before. Like the magic flame, in his peak, he was an ultimate master. And in the big pupil domain, he met Jin Yuxing and Qin Yan, who are also the ultimate level masters. However, after contacting Gui Gui, he has never really played against the ultimate master, and it can even be said that he has never seen the ultimate master dominated. This led to some deviations in his judgment of the ultimate level of dominance. He thought that the ultimate dominator was compared with the 5th rank dominator, that is, the gap in divine power and one more rule. The gap between the two is almost the same as the gap between the 4th level master and the 5th level master. But now really see the ultimate level dominate the shot, Jian Wushuang but instantly understood that this is not the case. The ultimate level of is far more powerful than the 5th grade. Not to mention the power of divine power, just the rules of heaven and earth. The 5th level dominates the 8 rules, and the ultimate dominates the 9 rules. But we must know that Jianyan is the level of heaven and earth. The fusion of the 9 rules is the most extreme and topmost rule for all practitioners in the universe. Once the 9 rules are merged, it means that he has still reached the highest achievement in the rules of heaven and earth, and there is no possibility of improvement. After reaching this step on the same rule, the strength of the practitioner will also undergo qualitative transformation. This metamorphosis includes various aspects, but the power of the 9 rules merging alone is outrageous. The seemingly random palm of the Elder of the Thunder God Palace has brought infinite pressure on Jian Wushuang. Humph! Jian Wushuang snorted coldly, and the Wu Wei divine sword in his hand burst into majestic power. An extremely violent breath condensed in his hands as well. This breath seemed to be able to cut through the sky and cut through this huge universe. Wow! The huge sword light is cut out directly, with Jian Wushuang's highest understanding of the origin of Kendo universe, and the perception of the laws of the universe, and most importantly, the two are perfectly combined. Jian Wushuang has achieved the ultimate combination of his application of the laws of the universe and Kendo over the years. His strength also broke out to the extreme, only to show his strongest sword. This sword is exactly the same. The same swordsmanship, after tens of thousands of years of improvement, is no longer what it used to be. Boom! As the world shook, the surrounding void seemed to be unable to withstand the impact of these two terrorist forces, crumbling. The mountain where the Blood Thunder Cliff was originally was almost lost by energy in the blink of an eye. Before the Blood Thunder Cliff was destroyed by the Flames of Flames, there is still a ruin left, but now there are no ruins, only the bare mountain wall. In the impact of the two Xeon powers, I saw that the crystal giant that shrouded more than half of the void was broken from it. The entire palm was divided into 2 halves, which was obviously forcibly split into 2 halves. The swordless figure appeared beside the magic flame. "Let's go," Jian Wushuang said, and then he and the flames rushed towards the void around the perimeter. At half a moment, the void slowly returned to peace, and the power of the sky dispersed. In the top void, the old figure, that is, the Elder of the Thunder Palace, still stood there, looking calm, and beside him the Emperor Yu Wang was anxious. "Old Elder, the kid escaped, don't you go after him?" Yu Wang sank. "Do you think the old man doesn't want to kill him?" The Elder of Thunder Palace gave a cold glance at Emperor Yu. The Emperor reigned for a moment and noticed the cold eyes of the Elder of Thunder God Palace, and he could not help shivering. He then rang. Although he is also one of the highest levels of Thor's palace and has a pivotal position in Thor's palace, compared to the Elder in front of him, he is still a heaven and a ground. The Elder of Thunder Palace, the ultimate level of domination, is one of the strongest dependencies of Thunder Palace. After all, the ultimate dominator is the strongest combat power of the entire Jiuyao starfield. The entire Jiuyao starfield is only about 20, and the Thunder God Palace is only 3. These 3 ultimate masters, any of them are the true pillars of Thor's palace, cannot fall. But like the Emperor Yu himself, although he is the chief of the Temple of Law Enforcement and the first law enforcement elder, in fact, if he is dead, the Thunder Temple can easily find someone to replace him. But the elders cannot be replaced. And the elders do things, should he teach them? Mr. Elder, wouldn't you even kill him? King Emperor, you became very well behaved this time, and respected him, even his title became you. Well, although I do know what the kid is from, he is really strong. Although he is dominated by the 3rd rank, but the divine power is not weaker than that of the 5th rank. The most important thing is that he still, after comprehending the laws of the universe, even the perception of the laws of the universe has reached a very high level, far beyond my imagination. By virtue of the perception of the laws of the universe alone, he can already be called in the 5th grade master. It is invincible. Even if compared with the ultimate level of dominance, it is not much worse. You haven't seen the old man's palm that was cut in half by his sword? Although the old man didn't really use his full strength, but I can be sure that even if I go all out, I will never kill him. He wants to kill him, unless there are 2 or 3 ultimate masters shooting at the same time, there is hope. Elder Shen said. That kid, how amazing! Emperor Yu looked surprised. He did not expect that the elder's evaluation of Jian Wushuang turned out to be so high. In addition, the sword Wushuangji sword was able to directly cut the crystal giant's brilliant hand into 2 pieces. This strength is also really dear. Go back first, and when you go back, you will tell the story of the event. The old man must know why this person should be counted on you. The elder said. Yes. King Diu nodded respectfully. Soon, the elder and Emperor Rain returned to Thunder Palace. In the vast void, a cosmic boat stopped silently. In the cosmic boat, Jian Wushuang sat with cold frost, and the magic flame stood beside them. Failed. I didn't expect the well-designed traps. The Emperor Rain King was already a lingering concubine. Ma Shan was able to suppress him completely, but he was allowed to escape. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands, with a reluctance in his eyes. Chapter 4070. The first is more. I miscalculated. Jian Wushuang secretly said, I thought that letting the flame of magic fire on Blood Thunder Cliff at most can attract the Emperor Rain King, but did not expect the Emperor Rain King to come, but that Thunder God Palace, the Elder, is he behind? The appearance of the Elder of the Thunder God Palace was indeed unexpected for Jian Wushuang. However, this incident can't be regarded as his miscalculation. After all, the reason that the Elder of Thunder Shrine will come is actually an accident. If it weren't in the Thunder God Palace, the Elder just happened to meet the Emperor Rain King, and if he noticed that there was a slight error, there would be no ultimate level of master to come here. For Jian Wushuang, this is just an accident, and it cannot be said to be a miscalculation. What really counts is actually his judgment of the ultimate level of dominance. I thought that as long as I combine the application of the laws of the universe with Kendo and reached the first level of the Zishua secret, it would be enough to fight the ultimate level to dominate the battle, but now it seems that is not the case. Sword unparalleled again. He just had a brief confrontation with the Elder of Thunder Palace. Although it was only a fight, Jian Shuang could already feel the huge power gap between himself and the other. The ultimate level of is much more powerful than the 5th level domination, and it is also much stronger than expected by Jian Wushuang. Although the confrontation, it seems that he directly cut the huge palm that the Elder of Thunder Goddess Palace slashed into 2 halves, but in fact Jian Wushuang himself knew very well that he did his best and exerted himself. The strongest swordsmanship and all kinds of powers have also reached the extreme. The Elder of that Thunder Palace, however, just shot at will. Head-to-head confrontation. If the Elder of Thor's temple shots with all his strength, I will not be his opponent. Maybe I can really compete with him only with my whole cards. Jian Wushuang said in a deep voice. On the whole cards, the sword array he created, the mystery of dragon extermination, and the original magic universe endowed by the laws of the universe, these are all sword unmatched whole cards. It's just that these whole cards are not easy to cast, but once they are cast, his strength will be enough to surge in a short time. Under the previous situation, with the Elder of Thunder Palace, even if I tried my best, I was afraid there would be no way to take the Emperor Rain King, and after this battle, the Emperor Rain King would definitely be very careful in his next actions. I want to hit him again, I'm afraid it's unlikely. Jian Wushuang muttered. I am afraid that it is not only the Emperor Rain King. After this war, the Emperor Rain King will definitely inform the high-level powers of the Thunder God Palace when he goes back. The highest levels of the Thunder God Palace will certainly be extremely vigilant next and will be careful everywhere. Beware of him. If he wants to shoot at the top of the Thunder Palace, it will be 10 times more difficult than before. Fu Jun, Leng Rushuang looked at Jian Wushuang, and she knew that Jian Wushuang's heart should be very unwilling now. It's okay. Jian Wushuang shook his head. After this war, in a short period of time, I couldn't find another chance to shoot against the strongest person in the Thunder Palace, let alone, I waited for a while and set the Supreme first. The immortal mystery was refined for the 4th time, and I will naturally have a way to deal with this Thunder Palace. Jian Wushuangdo. Cold as frost nodded slightly. Next, Jian Wushuang found a hidden place in Jiuyao Starfield and settled down temporarily. Jian Wushuang directly started the retreat. What he did is naturally the 4th most important thing in the Supreme Immortal. Previously, many treasures needed to practice the 4th weight of the Supreme Immortal Mystery have already reached his hands. What he has to do now is to enlighten him carefully, and with the help of these treasures, he will make the Supreme Immortal. The 4th is really refined. This process is not difficult, it just takes some time. In a flash, 3,000 years have passed. In the closet, the transformation of Jian Wushuang's deities has reached the final stage. Finally, with the sudden explosion of Jian Wushuang's deity, Jian Wushuang's eyes opened sharply, and a hot, brilliant light burst out. Ha ha, it's done! Jian Wushuang laughed with surprise. After 3,000 years of enlightenment in the secret room, with the help of many treasures, the ultimate immortal mystery is finally cultivated to the 4th level. In fact, before Jian Wushuang only practiced the 2nd and 3rd weights of the Supreme Immortal Mystery, it took more than 10,000 years to add up. This 4th weight is more difficult than the first 3, but the reason why Jian Wushuang only took 3,000 years. The success of the training is mainly because after Jian Wushuang's breakthrough reached the domination, the vision and the speed of enlightenment are much faster than before. Whether it is enlightenment or cultivation, the speed is naturally faster. Sure enough, once the 4th aspect of the Supreme Immortal Mystery is refined, my body will undergo a huge transformation. After transformation, the strength of my body should be comparable to the general rule of inferiority. Jian Wushuang looked around at himself. The spirit body is very excited, feeling the arrogance of his body and the huge power hidden in the body. Before being made into the 3rd weight, his body is comparable to the universe's strongest treasure, which is still enough. But the universe is the most powerful, and the rule is the most precious, that is exactly one heaven and one earth. Now the 4th refining of the Supreme Immortal Mystery is enough to be comparable to the body of the general rule of inferiority, which is more than 100 times stronger in the strength of the body. The stronger the body, the more terrifying the defense and defense capabilities, and even the power contained in the body is more amazing. Apart from that, now Jian Wushuang can clearly sense that the power of the divine body alone is coming out. I am afraid that it is close to the power of the 5th series. And under the amplitude of the willpower given by the law of the universe, this divine power can be directly amplified 10 times. That is, the sword power of Jian Wushuang itself has also been greatly improved, and the overall strength is again greater than before. Improved a bit. I am now qualified to dominate the wrist with the ultimate level. Jian Wushuang smiling. In the past 3,000 years, he confronted the elder of Thor's palace only once and then left immediately, because at that time he saw that there was a large power gap between him and the other party. But now, he has become the 4th weight of the Supreme Immortal Mystery. His divine strength has skyrocketed, and his overall strength has been increased again. If he encounters the elder of Thunder Palace, there may still be a certain gap in strength, but at least Jian Wushuang is now really confident to face it. Moreover, the most terrible end of the increase in the strength of the divine body is the ability to protect the body. The body is comparable to the treasure of the rule of inferior goods. How defensive is this defense? I am afraid that even if the attack of the ultimate level dominates, The damage to the sword unparalleled body will not be too much, let alone the sword unparalleled surface. There is a rule of inferiority to treasure armor. Chapter 4070 Supreme Fourth Immortal Body, page 1/1. Bookmark for easy reading. Chapter 4071. 2 more arrived today. The quality of the armor of the treasure warframe alone is already arrogant enough. Generally, the ultimate level of dominance of the attack is bombed on the treasure of the treasure warrior, and its power can be transmitted to the body through the treasure warframe. It is already pretty good. And the remaining 10% of the might, and then meet Jian Wushuang that is comparable to the sublime rule of the treasure armor body. It is estimated that it can barely shake it. But don't forget, Jian Wushuang is the perfect life. His divine power is vast and the bearing capacity is much stronger than ordinary practitioners. The combination of the top-class rule arcana warframe and the godlike body that is comparable to the top-class rule arcana. It is no accident that the general ultimate level dominion will not hurt me at all, and only some of the strongest of the ultimate level dominion or some top-level existence can it really hurts me. As for killing me, in the ultimate master, I am afraid that even those who are more anti-sky, who have understood some of the laws of the universe, will be able to do it. Jian Wushuang smiled. The ultimate dominator is already a strong one in the universe, and the number is not much. The ancient and profound large star fields such as the Jiuyao star field all add up to about 20. And the ultimate master who understands the laws of the universe is extremely rare. Even in the deepest part of the universe, there are not many such masters. However, the Jiuyao star field is only close to the depths. After all, it is not the depth of the universe. Jian Wushuang, I have seen the data of the ultimate masters of the Jiuyao star field for a long time, and know that in the entire Jiuyao star field, there is no ultimate master who understands the laws of the universe. Even though the most powerful palace master of Thor's palace, although he is regarded as the top level in the ultimate domination, there is still a big gap compared with those ultimate masters who understand the laws of the universe. That is to say, in the current Jiuyao star field, no one can kill him unless it is a hidden ultimate master or a hidden supreme power. The ability to protect the body is so good that Jian Wushuang's confidence is naturally enough. If I want to get what I want from Thor's palace, I have to find a way to compromise Thor's palace, but now I only have strong body protection ability, but in terms of attack and kill, I am only close to the ultimate dominator. This strength alone, am not yet ready to compromise Thor's palace. It seems that I have to prepare for it. Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. Soon he walked out of the secret room, stayed cold and frosty, and came to Jiodi Pavilion shortly after. Blood sword friends. Fei Xue, one of the directors of the Jiodi Pavilion, continued to receive the 3 swordsmen. Supervisor Fei Xue, I have some venom in your hand, look at it. Jian Wushuang waved his hand and took out the jade bottles. Each of these jade bottles contained a drop of venom, a total of 9 drops. In fact, there were 12 drops in total, but 1 drop was used to kill Lei Stellar, and the other 2 drops were refined on the way to Jian Wushuang's rush to the road, hiding his Wu weeping sword. Since it is already the refining venom, the sword Wushuang naturally did not take it out. Venom. Fei Xue took these jade bottles, opened the corks and observed them for a while, then laughed. Blood sword boy, these venom products you brought out are very high, and they should be from a poison master who is the ultimate master. And the value of such a venom is pretty good. I can give you a price of 1,000 cosmic source stones. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. Nabammer, which was originally in the Purple Star domain, gave the same price. I bought all 9 drops of venom. In addition, I need a few drops of higher level venom. Jian Wushuang said. Huh. Fei Xue couldn't help looking at Chao Jian Wushuang in amazement. A higher level of venom? Blood sword boy, what do you want? What I want to do is not yours, you just need to give me the venom. Jian Wushuang do. Of course. Fei Xue laughed again. But the 9 drops of venom you brought out, in fact, the grade is already very high, and the value is extremely amazing. Under normal circumstances, a single drop of these venoms is enough to easily kill the ultimate master of the 5th level, Even if it is the master of the ultimate level, if it is eroded by this drop of venom, at least it will have to be severely damaged, and the higher level venom is the kind of master that even the ultimate hierarchy once eroded, no doubt. Yes, that's what I want. Jian Wushuang said lowly. He was so determined that he wanted to start against Thor's palace, and he must compromise it. Since he wanted to compromise the Thunder Palace must be scared, but his own strength is not enough, so he can only hope in this horrible venom. Once he has 2 or 3 drops of this venom, and the refining is integrated into the Wu Weeping Sword, it is equivalent to mastering several big killers. The ultimate level of the Thunder Palace is dominated, and he may be inadvertently kill. This is what really scares Thor's palace. Bloodsword boy, although I don't know the purpose of these venoms, I have to tell you in advance that such a drop can kill the venom dominated by the ultimate level. Most of them are made by the venomist of the supreme level. And this kind of venom wants to use the same extremely difficult, let alone kill the enemy, a little careless, but he died first. Fei Shui solemnly. I know that. Jian Wushuang nodded. He knew this already, but it wasn't too much trouble for him. After all, his soul was invincible. In the process of refining this venom, he would not really die. Nothing more. Well, since you already know, I won't say much. Now I can find the venom that can easily kill the ultimate master in my 9 Emperors' house. There are 3 kinds of these 3 venoms. 2 are made by the poison master of the highest level, and 1 is made by an incomparable ultimate master of the poison master. Although he is only the master, but he refines the ability to make venom is not worse than those of the most extreme poison divisions. Fei Shuidao. What are the prices of these 3 venoms? Jian Wushuang asked. The venom refined by the first 2 extreme poison divisions is a drop of 8,000 universe source rocks. As for the venom refined by the ultimate master poison division, it is much cheaper, only 5,000 universe source rocks. Blizzard Road. How expensive! Jian Wushuang took a breath of air. Expensive? In fact, it's already cheap. Fei Shui laughed. Blood sword boy, you know, that is the venom that is made by the Supreme Poison Master. Each drop contains a supremes. If you work hard, this drop of venom can easily kill the ultimate masters standing at the top. If it is not because the venom itself is too aggressive and too difficult to use, the value of these venoms is more than that. Chapter 4072. I will change it today. Jian Wushuang can also understand. After all, a drop of venom made by the Supreme Poison Master himself is enough to easily destroy the ultimate level master, and it is normal to be more expensive. If it weren't for the harsh and difficult use of venom, the price would probably be more expensive. 1 drop of 8,000 cosmic source stones. I just bought 9 drops of venom, and I only got 9,000 cosmic source stones. Even if I added the many resources left on me, I couldn't buy 2 drops of such venom. It seems that only the second best. Jian Wushuang secretly said. Supervisor Fei Shui, 1 drop of the venom from the 5,000 source stones, give me 2 drops. Jian Wushuangdo. Yes, 2 drops of venom, a total of 10,000 source stones. Fei Shui said. Jian Wushuang immediately sold the source stone from the 9 drops of venom that he had just sold, and then took out 1,000 source stones from his accumulation and handed them to Fei Shui. Bloodsword friend, there is one more thing I have to bring to you. Even if you think of a way to refine the venom, you can only use it easily. For example, you can integrate it into your own soldiers and then attack the way, causing the venom to erode on the opponent's body, but this method has a premise, that is, your soldier must contact the opponent's body, that is, you must really attack the opponent's body. Fei Shui said again. I naturally know this. Jian Wushuangdo. Fei Shui didn't say much, and immediately went down to prepare the 2 drops of venom. Soon, Fei Shui took 2 drops of brand new venom and sent it to Jian Wushuang. These 2 drops of venom are dark and inky. Although they are contained in the jade bottle, they can come into contact with the power of the sword's soul. At that moment, his body and mind are completely cold, and his soul is almost frozen. Sure enough, These 2 drops of venom are much more powerful than the venom I got from Jisoo. Jian Wushuang's eyes were dazzling. There is no doubt that these 2 drops of venom can be fatal to the ultimate master. With these 2 drops of venom, Jian Wushuang left Judy Pavilion, and then Jian Wushuang found another place and began to refine these 2 venoms. This level of venom is even more difficult to refine. You should know that the sword of the venom that was obtained from Jiu-Su alone took a long time to refining a drop, and it also spent endless energy. Of course, the current sword Wushuang is definitely different from before. Not only has he made great progress in strength, the key is that he already has sufficient experience in refining venom, so now he is refining again. Although the level is higher, the time it takes is not too long. 2,000 years later, the 2 drops of venom sword were all refined and integrated into their Wu Cry Excalibur. On average, it was 1 drop for 1,000 years. The 4th weight of the Supreme Immortal Mystery has been refined, and these 2 drops of venom worth 10,000 Universe Source Stones have also been completely refined and mastered, and become my killer. Now I can say that I have everything. Even if you give me more time, I CNT improve my strength. It's time to go to that shrine. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly, his eyes burst into fierce mans. He is definitely going to shoot at Thor's palace, and there is no doubt about that. It was only that shot 5,000 years ago, his strength was obviously not enough, but now, it is almost the same. Fu Jun, what are you going to do this time? Are there any plans? Leng Rushuang looked over. The plan has been thought about for a long time. To be exact, there is no plan, just kill it. Jian Wushuang laughed. Kill it? Husband, you are trying to. Leng Rushuang showed surprise, and there was a hint of worry in Meiyu. Rest assured, after the 4th rank of the Supreme Immortal Mystery was made, except for the Supreme, almost no one killed me. As for this Thunder Palace, although there are 3 ultimate levels of domination, I can be sure of dealing with them. Jian Wushuang smiled confidently. Schwanger, you and Moyen will stay in the cosmic boat, waiting for my news. Jian Wushuangdo. Nodded coldly. Jian Wushuang immediately set off for the Thunder Temple. Thunder Palace is one of the 4 strongest forces in these 9 starfields. It has a deep foundation and many powerful people. It is the ultimate level of domination. 5,000 years ago, although Jian Wushuang made a shot at Thor's palace, he only wanted to start from one of the top levels of Thor's palace, so he led the Emperor reign out, but he didn't expect to end it failed. But now, Jian Wushuang made his 2nd shot, so he didn't plan to cover it up. He wants to kill the Thunder Palace directly, relying on absolute strength, let the Thunder Palace compromise and bow his head to him. Before actually going to the old nest of Thor's palace, let's get some chips first. Jian Wushuang smiled. Instead of heading directly to the old nest of Thor's palace, he went to the Purple Thunder Astral Zone under Thor's palace. The 9 stars are still in the 1st level astral stage of the evolution stage. There are a total of 8, and the 8 first-order astrals are controlled by the 4 strongest forces in the 9 Yao star field. The Purple Thunder Astral Realm is a 1st-level astral realm controlled by Thor's palace. You should know that the power of Thor's palace in the Jiuyao star field is very huge, and Her Majesty's attached astral circles are endless. Like the secondary astral circle, Thor's palace has dozens of feet. It is precisely because His Majesty has many secondary astral circles, so when the sword Wushuang destroyed the Blood Thunder Cliff, the Thunder God Palace did not take it seriously. But the first astral world is different. There are only 8 first-level astral planes in the Jiuyao star field, and only 2 of them are in Thor's temple. The importance of these 2 first-level astral circles to Thor's temple is extraordinary. But just today Jian Wushuang came to the 1st-level astral Purple Thunder Astral. There is a supreme holy place, the Purple Thunder Field in the Purple Thunder Astral Realm. This Purple Thunder Field is occupied by the throne of the Thunder Palace. The Thunder Palace also sends many strong people to sit here all year round, and a heavy area is also arranged around the Thunder Field. A powerful law formation. This law formation is extremely solid. Unless it is dominated by the ultimate level, it is difficult for anyone to break the law formation. In addition, there is a cosmic channel connecting the Purple Thunder Star Realm and the Thunder Palace Old Nest. Once there is any huge change in the Purple Thunder Star Realm, the strong person of the Thunder Palace can come here to clear the siege as quickly as possible, which leads to, after a long period of time, no one can shake the position of Thor's temple in the Purple Thunder. Void above the Purple Thunder domain, a figure stood there indifferently. This figure is naturally the sword unparalleled. Chapter 4073. The first is more. Thunder Palace really pays more attention to the first-level astral realm. On the legal array alone, the Purple Thunder astral legal array is far more powerful than the original Blood Thunder Cliff's original legal array. I am afraid that there is no ultimate dominating power. Break this array. Jian Wushuang looks down at a woody land in front. This land is completely covered by the legal array. Through the legal array, you can see the densely packed buildings on the ground and the existence of a large number of cultivation. This land is the foundation of Thor's temple in this Purple Thunder astral realm. Fortunately, this array is not difficult for me. Jian Wushuang was smiling, but Wu Wei's Excalibur had already appeared in his hands. Without the slightest hesitation, Jian Wushuang directly cut off the sword with anger. This sword Wushuang instantly issued his strongest power, even with the power of his own body, and the sword technique is also the strongest attack on the open sky. Boom! The majestic sword light cut directly over the ancient law formation, and it instantly seemed as if a huge rock fell into the water, and the entire law formation began to tremble madly. Within the array, many practitioners under his Thunder Palace also looked up. What happened? Someone is attacking the law circle. This array was arranged by the Thunder God Palace. There is no way to regret the strength of the ultimate dominator, but now there is only one attack, and it is so trembling, as if it cannot bear it. Is there an ultimate dominator in the attack? All the powerful men in His Majesty's Palace of Thunder were in a commotion, especially those who are at the top of the Purple Thunder Star. Hurry up, send a message to the palace, saying that there is an ultimate level of to come to your door, and they are required to send someone to rescue immediately. Fast, the elder or the palace master must come as fast as possible, otherwise it will be too late. Several fifth-level masters from Thor's palace in the French array have gathered. These fifth series dominate. The strength is very strong, even standing on the peak of the fifth series, but can catch God Reign King, but none. And at this moment, the hearts of these fifth series dominated the panic. The Thunder Palace is one of the strongest forces in the Jiuyao starfield, and almost no one dares to mess with it. The Purple Thunder is one of the two first-level astrals controlled by His Majesty the Thunder Palace, which can be said to be the most powerful of the Thunder Palace. Valued resources. Because Thunder Palace places so much importance on the Purple Thunder astral circle, there are almost no unsightly forces or strong men in the Jiuyao star domain who dare to come to the Purple Thunder astral circle for trouble. They are the masters who have been guarding the Purple Thunder realm, and they have been extremely comfortable, but whoever thought that someone had come to the door today, and the views of the movement are likely to be the ultimate masters. These fifth-level dominated, of course, panic. Buzzing. The entire array was trembling madly, and it was on the verge of falling. However, in the end, this array was still the sword that could endure, the sword unparalleled. Unexpectedly defeated? Jian Wushuang looked at the magic array in front of him in surprise, but then smiled again, and the Wu weapon sword in his hand was cut again. One sword is not enough, then another sword. Boom! The same mighty Jingguang relentlessly chopped on that law formation again. Originally, because of bearing the first Jingguang, the legal array that had reached the edge of collapse suffered the same attack again, and could not bear it anymore, and was torn apart by that Jingguang on the spot. The entire array was completely defeated, and the energy disappeared into the sky. The practitioners of the Thunder Temple, which were originally hidden under the array, no longer had any cover, and were completely exposed in front of Jian Wushuang. Those practitioners overlooking the Thunder God Palace have turned into a pot of porridge, and Sword Wushuang did not issue a sword again, But with a big wave of his hands, 3 towering golden stone monuments rose in an instant. Sanzuan Town Tianbei appeared at the same time, and almost immediately covered the huge building group below. With the development of the magical town of heaven and magic, the infinite repression force was immediately oppressed on those practitioners of the Thunder God Palace. This repressive force is terrible. Even the 5th-ranking dominator is extremely difficult to resist, and those 4th-ranking and 3rd-ranking dominators are even weaker. Under this repressive force, and it has completely lost its ability to resist. Some people even fell down on the spot after being suppressed. Come in. Jian Wushuang smiled. In Sanzuan Town Monument, there are hidden independent spaces. This independent space is actually a prison for suppressing people. Now the sword is unparalleled, and I saw that from the 3 town monuments, there is an old golden palm that extends out. These golden palms are incredibly fast and directly dragged a famous practitioner in Thor's palace. Repression in that independent space. Those practitioners of the Thunder God Palace cannot resist under the magical town of heaven and magic. In just a few moments, a large number of practitioners possessed by this land were suppressed by Jian Wushuang into the independent space in Zhentian Monument. The only ones that haven't been suppressed are those 5th-level dominators. My divine power is only the 5th level in the end. Even if I control the 3 town monuments to cast the magic demon town, I can't directly suppress the 5th level. Hands and feet. Jian Wushuang smiled, but his figure was swept away from the crowd ahead. At this moment, there are more than a dozen 5th-level masters of Thor's temple in this purple thunder astral world, but all of them are frightened. You know, they were just watching the many practitioners under their command. They were directly suppressed without any resistance. Now, everyone else has been suppressed, and they are the only ones left. Okay. These 5th-level masters suddenly looked up. They all noticed that a figure in front of them was galloping. This is the 3rd level dominates? It's not the ultimate master who is attacking us, but a 3rd level master? Impossible? These masters are all stunned. But Jian Wushuang didn't bother to care about them at all. As soon as he got closer, he shot straight. I saw a sword shadow being cast out from his hands. 5,000 years ago, when he had never been made into the 4th level of the Supreme Immortal Mystic, he could easily kill the 5th-ranked peak. Now there are more than a dozen 5th-level dominates, but those who reach the peak level are only 2 or 3. Although the number is a little bit, it is very easy for Jian Wushuang to deal with it. However, it took a while. The 10 or so 5th-ranked dominators were all killed by Jian Wushuang in the weakest stage, and then suppressed by Jian Wushuang. Chapter 4074. Second More. More than a dozen dominated by the 5th series, and the 4th and 3rd series dominated a lot. As for the 1st and 2nd series and the rules of those rules, even more countless. Although I arrested, there are a lot of people, but those who are truly qualified to let the Thunder Palace care are probably more than a dozen 5th-level masters and a few 4th-level masters. But for a large force like Thor's palace, losing this strong person should not be a big deal. It seems that the chips in my hand are not enough. I have to catch some Thor's palace powerful members. Jian Wushuang secretly said. Making up his mind, Jian Wushuang immediately left the purple astral realm and rushed towards His Majesty's other astral realms. And just after Jian Wushuang walked away, there was a dazzling light on the ground below, followed by a strong breath appeared in this world. These people are the strongest. Thor Thunder Palace rushed to the rescue as soon as they were rumored, the head of which is the elder of Thor Thunder Palace. People, why are you alone? The elder frowned, looking around. The power of his soul swept away long ago, but the vast void around him did not sense the slightest breath, including those that should have existed in this land, and none of the many practitioners under his Thunder Palace. Are you late? The elder immediately understood. Although he was the first to receive the news, he came over here. He arrived here from Thor's palace. It took a very short time, but there was no way. Jian Wushuang was too fast. With just 2 swords, the French formation of this land was defeated, and then many of the practitioners were directly suppressed by the repression of the rule of treasure. It took only a short-term effort from sword warriors to suppress all the strong men to leave. This elder did not catch up. According to the previous news, the person who started the operation is a third-level dominator, but this third rank dominates the power is extremely possible, and it will be able to put my thunder temple in the purple thunder in a very short period of time. All the strong repressed, this third level dominates. The elder looked cold. No accident, it should be the one who had dealt with Emperor Yu before. The elder of Thunder Palace has guessed that Jian Wushuang is doing it, but he can't do anything. After all, he doesn't know where Jian Wushuang is, and he doesn't have the sword command of Jian Wushuang. In desperation, the elder of Thor's palace can only return to Thor's palace with his people. But it wasn't long before he returned to Thor's palace, and there was news immediately that Thor's palace struck a second-level astral plane and was attacked by a third-level dominator. It was also within a short period of time that second-level star almost all the strong men in the Thunder Palace are suppressed by the other party. Subsequently, another secondary astral world was attacked again. In order to increase his bargaining chips with Thor's palace, Jian Wushuang went to the astral areas controlled by Thor's palace, and shot at those strong players in Thor's palace. He did not slay those strong men in Thunder Palace, none of them were killed. He just used thunder to suppress all the strong people in Thunder Palace, and locked them in the independent space of Zhenshinbai. One by one, the astral world continues to suppress. Although the Thunder God Palace has already responded, it has also issued various orders to respond to Jian Wushuang's attacks. But the results are useless. Jian Wushuang definitely has the power to shoulder the ultimate domination, and Thor's palace has only 3 ultimate dominators, all staying in the throne of Thor's palace. In other words, as long as Jian Wushuang did not run to the old nest of Thor's palace could not take him at all. As for the astral planes under Her Majesty's palace, although there are certain forces, these forces are basically a joke before the sword has no double sides, and he can easily sweep it down by himself, sweeping the second-level astral planes and suppressing Thor. Palace of those strong. In this way, Jian Wushuang swept across a first-level astral plane, 15 second-level astral planes, and the repressed Thunder Palace powerhouses are countless. Although Thunder Palace is thinking of various countermeasures, so far, it has not threatened Jian Wushuang. After sweeping 15 secondary astral realms, Jian Wushuang finally stopped. 15 second-level astral planes, plus the purple thunder astral planes that were swept before, all the strong men in Thor's palace left in these astrals have been suppressed by me. Until now, the thunderous palaces have been suppressed by me. Among them, the 5th rank alone has more than 40 masters, and the 4th and 3rd ranks add up to hundreds, let alone the number of other masters and rule masters, and there are still many of them. Some highly qualified geniuses, such a force, shouldn't even care about Thor's palace, right? Jian Wushuang smiled. All these powerful men suppressed by him will become his chips. In his opinion, the chips he currently has may not be enough to make Thor's palace nervous or angry, but it can definitely make Thor's palace care. At least the Thunder God Palace did not dare to ignore this power. Once he was fierce and killed all the repressed powerhouses, he believed that the Thunder God Palace would jump quickly. It is enough to achieve this. With these chips, barely enough should be enough. Even if I continue to sweep down such an astral world, although I can capture more of the Thunder Palace strong, but it is only the icing on the cake, and Thunder Palace is not stupid. It used to be that I started too fast, but now they should have responded, and they should be ordered to hide in those astral powerhouses, and will not give me the opportunity to continue to suppress. It's almost there. Next, it's time to go to Thor's palace and talk to the ultimate master of Thor's palace. Jian Wushuang smiled lightly, and even when he set off, he went directly to the throne of Thunder God Palace. The Thunder God Palace at this moment has already fallen into a rage. The Thunder God Palace has been dominating the Jiuyao star domain for too long. After a long time, the Thunder God Palace is high above the Jiuyao star domain. Except for the other 3 strongest men who can stand up to him, no one in Dallas of Jiuyao dares to challenge the Thunder Palace. Even if it is the ultimate master, it is generally not dare to provoke the Thunder Palace, because not only there are 3 ultimate masters in the Thunder Palace, but also the deep inside, there are all kinds of whole cards. It is capable of killing the ultimate master. Because of this www.novel. Thunder Palace can occupy such a vast territory, and His Majesty controls so many astral realms. But today, it is really provoked to go to Thor. Not only was it provoked, it was even humiliated. It was being pressed to the ground and rubbing up and down the Thunder Palace, naturally angry. Chapter 4075. Just getting this soul defense class rule is extremely valuable, but I have NT searched the Jiuzus Jian Kuan. I hope it will surprise me. Jian Wushuang's full of expectations, began to investigate Jiuzus left Jian Kuan quit. The consciousness sank into the ring of heaven, and with a simple glance, Jian Wushuang's face couldn't help showing surprise. Good guy, these 9 whiskers are really rich. Jian Wushuang praised. It is very rich. In this time, the cosmic crystals are piled up like a mountain, and there are a lot of cosmic source stones. If all these are added up, it is estimated that there are 1,300 cosmic source stones. In addition, there are all kinds of treasures in this ring. Each treasure is not low in value. Like the rule of treasures, there are still 3 things in the ring. Of course, these 3 rules of treasure are just the general rules of attack. They are worth as much as the purple spear used by Jioshu. But all of this adds up to amazing value. These 9 beards, even though they are a penancer, are only a master of the 4th level extreme level. How could they be so rich? Jian Wushuang couldn't help but admire. From the soul defense rule to the treasure, plus the many treasures in this 9-bearer's ring, all of them add up, and its value is probably nearly 3,000 cosmic source stones. 3,000 cosmic source stones, this is more than the vast majority of the 5th series dominated the net worth. You know, there are a lot of poor 5th level masters, but even a rule of attack is extremely difficult to get. Master, if I'm not mistaken, there must be many strong men who have been killed by Jiusu, and he should also have got some special opportunities, otherwise he would be dominated by a 4th level player, and his net worth would not be so rich. Demon Flame said. Maybe. Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. However, he did not know that Jiusu had indeed had a chance. He got a cave house dominated by the ultimate level, and obtained a lot of benefits from that cave house. In addition, his own strength is very strong, and he has spent many years in various territories of the universe. There are indeed many strong men who kill and kill, including 2 5th-level masters. These strong men who were killed by him are quite a lot of net worth, plus what he got from the ultimate master. It is normal for him to be able to do so now. However, with these 9 beards being slashed by Jian Wushuang, his life gain was cheaper for Jian Wushuang. Before I was quite worried that my financial resources were not enough. Even if I went to the Judy Pavilion of Ziwei Starfield, I could not exchange for what I wanted, but now, it should be enough. Jian Wushuang smiled. His eyes were looking after taking a look at the magic flame next to him. Magic flame, when I reach the Ziwei Starfield, I will go to Jiodi Pavilion to exchange some special spar for you, so that your body can recover to 30% or 40% as soon as possible. Thank you, Master. Devil Flame was glad inside. Shuanga. Jian Wushuang looked at his wife again. This gray bead, you have refined it. Jian Wushuang handed your gray beads directly to the cold frost. Fu Jun, this bead is the rule of soul defense. Don't you need it? Cold Frost frowned. Ha, Shuanga, you should know that I am a perfect cultivator of life, and I have long been invincible in the soul. No one can deal with me from the soul. Naturally, the law of the defense of the soul is so precious to me. Use it, but you, in the future, you will be in the universe with me, you will inevitably encounter some danger, and only if you have enough self-protection ability can you not distract me. Well, I see. Cold as Frost nodded, and accepted the gray beads. She also knows the reason that Jian Wushuang said. On strength, although her soul and soul have been transformed because of the relationship between the heart of the astral world, she has also inherited the mantle of the Misty Supreme, and her potential is great, but on strength, there are indeed many gaps between Jian Shuang and Jian Shuang. She wants to keep up with Jian Wushuang all the time. Then she doesn't say if she can help Jian Wushuang. At least she can't hinder Jian Wushuang. This is what Leng Rushuang thinks. With this gray bead, she can really improve her life-saving ability. Well, let's go on. Jian Wushuang smiled. Immediately, the huge spacecraft continued to exercise towards the galaxy ahead. The speed of the cosmic boat is still extremely fast, and even the Ziyuan Xing and other overlord stars in Hanoi, such as the Ancient Star and the Void Star, have planted their heels in Jianwu's hands, and even the previously recognized strongest Jisu all died in the sword without hands. Then this Ziwei Xinghe, no one who can't open his eyes, come to their trouble. A flash, more than 400 years passed. The spacecraft finally reached the end of Ziwei Xinghe. More than 700 years, have you finally come to the end of this Ziwei Xinghe? Jian Wushuang looked at the end of Xinghe in front of him. A vast universe of void appeared, and a smile appeared on his face. Ziwei Xinghe has traveled in the cosmic boat for more than 700 years, and it has also transmitted through the cosmic channel of the ancient Yuanxing, saving 200 or 300 years. Until now, Xinghe has been completely passed through. The end of Xinghe is Ziwei Star Field, which is also one of the 2 goals of this time. The Ziwei Star Field is a medium-sized star field. The area where the Swordsman is located is at the edge of the universe and the most barren. The name does not enter the meteor field. It is too powerful. Jian Wushuang learned the complete information of Ziwei Star Domain from the Jyoti Pavilion. In the Ziwei Star Field, there are thousands of astral spheres alone. Although most of them are tertiary astral planes, there are still more than 10 astral planes. And Ziwei Starfield, although it is still not in the depths of the universe, it is no longer a marginal zone of the universe. The secondary astrology here is more powerful than the Lord of the Clouds. The Lord of the Astral Realm is also much stronger than the Demon Star. According to the information obtained by Jian Wushuang, the secondary astral master in the Ziwei Star Realm is almost dominated by the 5th order. And Jian Wushuang's goal in the Ziwei Star Field, that is, that Xinglua dominated with her disciples as cold as snow, and Jian Wushuang had already obtained complete information. That Star Luo dominates, comes from a secondary astral field in the Ziwei Star Field. The top force in the Thunder Star Field is the poisonous demons. The Lord of the 10,000 Poison Sect is the super strong enough to rank in the top 3 in the Lei Hingxing domain, and it is said that its strength is second only to the Lei Hingxing domain master. Chapter 4076. Second more. I saw a lot of Cyan divine power quickly gathering in the void. In the blink of an eye, a huge towering Cyan crystal jade palm was formed. This crystal jade palm contained 9 different rules at the same time, which perfectly blended together and made people tremble. With this Cyan crystal jade's palm slowly covering, the void below seemed to be unable to withstand such forces, and a faint crack had appeared, as if it would completely collapse at any time. Looking at the Cyan crystal jade palm under the cover slowly, Jian Wushuang smiled indifferently. The Wu crying Excalibur in his hand was cut out instantly. The strongest power erupts instantly. Open the sky. Wow! The same result as before, the Cyan crystal jade palm was split in half by the majestic sword light, and a large amount of Cyan divine power escaped frantically around. Okay. The elder of Thunder God Palace frowned. This boy's strength seems to be a lot stronger than the last time. The elder of Thunder Palace really feels that Jian Wushuang's strength has improved. You know, he played against Jian Wushuang the last time, although his giant hand was also split in half by Jian Wushuang's sword. But at that time, he didn't do his best, just hit it with one hand, and Jian Wushuang burst out with his full strength. But now, he has used all his strengths. The Cyan crystal jade giant hand he casts is much stronger than the palm that attacked Xiang Jian Wushuang at first, but the sword is still split in half by the sword in front of Jian Wushuang. There is no doubt that Jian Wushuang's strength is definitely stronger than before. Huh! A ghostly figure suddenly appeared on the side of Jian Wushuang. What suddenly appeared was of course the Blood Mine leader, who was in charge of a special unit in the Thunder Palace. This unit was an assassination unit. The main leader of the Blood Thunder Army is also good at assassination. His speed is incredible. Appearing on the side of Jian Wu's body, the main palm of the Blood Thunder Army immediately burst out with a dark black sword. Jian Wushuang has already reacted, his body retreats slightly, and Wu Wei's Excalibur instantly crosses it. Clang. The two came into contact and flashed. Humph! The leader of the Blood Thunder Army snorted, but the dark black sword in the palm of his hand was like a poisonous snake. Hey! Laugh! A sword followed a sword, stabbing at the fastest speed. Just for a short time, the leader of the Blood Thunder Army even stabbed hundreds of swords directly. Each sword was almost to the extreme, and the power was extremely terrible. However, the leader of the Blood Thunder Army did not expect that Jian Wushuang's sword speed was not slow at all. In this moment, hundreds of swords were also stabbed at the same time, completely blocking his attack. Clang. With another metal-like sound, the main body of the Blood Thunder Army floated toward the rear like a ghost. This boy! Shui Leijun looked at Jian Wushuang in horror. He is the ultimate master, and is mainly based on assassinations. His speed is what he is best at. At the blink of an eye, he stabbed hundreds of swords. This is definitely one of his killing tricks. This third series dominated the complete resistance. Blood Thunder, be careful, this kid is not weak. The elder of Thunder God Palace appeared beside the leader of the Blood Thunder Army and said, I can see it. The leader of Shuele Army nodded slightly. He has understood the laws of the universe, and judging from his speed with which I can keep up with my swordsmanship, he has a high level of awareness of the laws of the universe. The fourth floor of the Law of the Sea is even possible. The fifth floor of the Law Sea? The elder of Thunder Palace was also surprised. They are the ultimate masters, and naturally know what it means for a third-level master to be able to cross the fifth floor of the Sea of Laws. Don't hide yourself, shoot with all your strength and kill him. The elder of Thunder Palace sighed, and immediately a surge of violent breath rose from his body. His momentum soared instantly. Boom! The entire elder of the Thunder Palace is transformed into a huge dark cloud, and the sword is unparalleled. As for the main body of the Blood Thunder Army, it disappeared directly into the void. The next moment, ping, 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 ping. Only a horrible roar was heard one after another. Within the dark cloud cover, Jian Wushuang had already met the elder of Thunder God Palace. Different from before, the elder Thunder Palace had only used his frontal attack tricks and was defeated by double-clicking the sword, but now the elder Thunder Palace directly came forward and slaughtered with the sword unparalleled. The main leader of the Blood Thunder Army relied on his own figure to hide in the surrounding void, and from time to time he gave Jian Wushuang a fatal blow. The combination of the two ultimate masters is extremely terrible. Especially the assassination and killing of the leader of the Blood Thunder Army is too weird, and the speed is too fast. It is invincible. Changing to the General Ultimate Master, facing the siege of these two men, I am afraid that they will be extremely embarrassed, and will soon be put on the battlefield. But sword unparalleled but different. Although Jian Wushuang is not the Ultimate Master, and even his strength is not as good as the Ultimate Master to a certain extent, his advantages are not possessed by most ultimate masters. That is, his perception of the laws of the universe is too high, the perception of the laws of the universe is extremely high, and they are perfectly combined with kendo, which makes his swordplay become extremely mysterious. Not only can easily resist the front of the Elder Thor Thunder the attack, even the assassination of the Blood Thunder Army leader, he was able to reflect in time and easily resist. Even if it was one enemy and two, he did not fall into the slightest. Although these two are very powerful, the two can indeed defeat the General Ultimate Master. Unfortunately, they met me. Jian Wushuang also smiled. In fact, a strong man like him who has a very high understanding of the laws of the universe and can combine with kendo, the best way to defeat him is to directly break the law by force, relying on strong power to crush him. And now, like the elders of the Thunder Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army, come to fight with him close to him, and compete with him to fight against him, that is a joke. his sword skill is far more exquisite than that of the elders of the Thunder Palace and the Blood Thunder Army. If it is not for the power, he is worse than the ultimate master, and the assassination method of the Blood Thunder Army master is indeed enough. If he was terrible, he would have repelled the two. The Elder of Thunder Temple and the Blood Thunder Army Lord have also realized this. No, his swordsmanship is too mysterious. It is much more subtle than the attacks we have performed. Fighting with him close to him is just to find his own abuse. The Elder of Thunder God Palace said lowly, "This kid's strength is indeed very strong. We can't win him at all just by the two of us." While talking, they all looked intently behind them, and the Lord of the Thunder God Palace was there. Chapter 4077. 3 more arrived today. The Lord of the Thunder God Palace stood in the surrounding void from beginning to end and never shot. After all, he is the strongest of Thor's palace. Even in the ultimate domination, he is extremely strong and can even be called the top existence. He is the greatest support of Thor's temple. But because of this, he would not easily take shots, because once he took the shot himself, it showed that Thor's palace had been pushed to the extreme by the opponent. Moreover, it was only a third-level master who killed them at this moment. The Lord of the Thunder God Palace had to hold his own identity. The second time, he also believed that the Elder of the Thunder God Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army were enough to take the other party. However, the facts completely exceeded his expectations. The Elder of Thunder Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army, the two ultimate dominators, joined together, and they have all burst out of their powers, but they can't help but control the third level in front of them. After seeing the Elder of Thunder God Palace asking for help from the leader of Blood Thunder Army, the Lord of Thunder God Palace looked pale and half-sounded before he finally sighed. "You two stand back," said the Lord of the Thunder Palace. The Elder of Thunder God Palace and the leader of Shuele Army pulled away immediately. After leaving the distance with Jian Wushuang, they looked at Jian Wushuang with a trace of horror. Perhaps the people watching the battle around could not see it, but the two of them were very clear. Since the two of them shot together with Jian Wushou, they not only did not increase the pressure greatly, but became extremely relaxed, just like leisure. The court wandered, easily resisting their attack. Neither of them attacked the other side at all. On the contrary, the opponent's exquisite swordsmanship makes him and her feel great pressure all the time. "Master, this boy's perception of the laws of the universe is too high, and sword art is extremely profound. If his strength is not much different from him, he can rely on his understanding of the laws of the universe and easily play with me." The Elder of Thunder God Palace said softly, "Road. I see it." The Lord of Thunder Palace nodded slightly, but his eyes were unusually cold. "A third-level master dominates me, but the two ultimate masters of Thor's palace are helpless. Blood Sword, you are very good." The Thor's palace stared at Jian Wushuang. "Since this seat became the Thor's palace, here I can hardly find one in Juyao Starfield that I admire, but today I cannot admire you. There is no doubt that you are the most terrible genius I have seen in all these years." The Elder of the Thunder God Palace also looked very dignified with the main leader of the Blood Thunder Army. To the Lord of the Thunder God Palace, the two of them were also very agreeable. A third-level master can fight head-on with their ultimate master, and their two ultimate masters join forces. There is no way to take each other. Isn't that difficult? Even in the entire universe, I am afraid it will be difficult to find such a terrible tertiary third-ranking ruler, right? Those who compliment me, there is no need to say those things that compliment me. You either shot them in person or told me everything I wanted to know." Jian Wushuang smiled. "That being the case, then it seems that this seat will have to take a shot in person to meet you." The Thunder Palace bland. Although the Lord of the Thunder God Palace said very plainly, he instantly warned Jian Wushuang. After all, the Lord of Thunder Palace is not the two before. Whether it is the Elder of Thunder God Palace or the leader of the Blood Thunder Army, although they are the ultimate masters, they are just the general ultimate masters. The Lord of the Thunder God Palace, however, is called the top level among the ultimate masters. Before Jian Wushuang decided to kill the Thunder God Palace, he carefully asked about the power gap between the ultimate masters of the magic flame, and the magic flame told him that the power gap between the ultimate masters and each level was very large. Generally, those who can reach the top level in the ultimate domination, their strength is definitely more than 10 times stronger than the ordinary ultimate domination. Lord of the Thunder God Palace, let me see how strong you are, the strongest person in the Thunder God Palace. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes slightly, but there was a hint of excitement in his eyes. The Lord of the Thunder God Palace did not speak anymore. He just looked at Jian Wushuang coldly. The next moment, a large axe appeared in his hand. This is a red golden axe. The axe is 5 meters long, and the body is surrounded by layers of golden thunder. These golden thunders are beating wildly in the void, and an extremely violent atmosphere is passed from this axe. Come out. The rule of top-grade treasure is even close to the top-grade rule treasure. Jian Wu's eyes narrowed. He could see that the great axe that the Lord of the Thunder God Palace had brought out was not much worse than his Wu Cry Excalibur. Stop it! The Lord of the Thunder God Palace fluttered a word. As soon as the words fell, the light golden axe in his hand was chopped down. There is nothing fancy, and the Lord of the Thunder Palace did not even want to fight with Jian Wushuang in close proximity, to compete in swordsmanship, axe, or killing skills. After all, he knows that Jian Wushuang has a great understanding of the laws of the universe, and swordsmanship is far more subtle than his axe. Qilai Jingu's own advantage is also obvious, that is, pure power. The ultimate master at the top level, he can easily kill the master of the 5th rank with a random blow. And now he is throwing an axe with all his strength. As the terrifying mighty power that sweeps through the earth is swept away, the countless powerful people watching the battle all show fear and awe. Even the 2 ultimate masters, the Elder of Thunder Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army, could not help but feel alarmed. The axe power of the Lord of Thunder God Palace is too strong. Far more powerful than the Elder of Thunder Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army, it is more than 10 times stronger. The mighty axe shadow slashed directly at Jian Wushuang, and when axe shadow came down, it had completely blocked the void around Jian Wushuang, and did not give Jian Wushuang any space to escape. Purely overpowering people. Humph! Jian Wushuang also appeared like lightning, and at this moment was also bursting out his strongest power. The majestic strength is constantly integrated into his Wu Cry Excalibur, and the strongest Kai Tian style at the next moment is directly cut out. This sword, before, was able to cut off the cyan crystal jade palm that the Elder of Thunder God Palace fully concentrated. At this moment, this majestic sword light collided with the axe shadow that came back from the mighty. Peng! A low impact sounded. The surrounding void seemed to be shaking a little at this moment. Jian Wushuang only felt that a horrible force that completely surpassed himself passed on. His Kai Tian sword-style sword art collapsed instantly, and the mighty golden axe shadow remained unabated, and it completely drowned him in an instant body shape. Peng! The axe shadow was split directly on Jian Wushuang's body, and the sword Wushuang was directly split into the ground below. A huge pothole also appeared out of thin air. Chapter 4078. The first is more. Too strong. A lot of strong men in the Thunder Palace, including the Elder Thunder Palace and the Blood Thunder Army leader next to the void, saw a twitch in the heart when they saw Jian Wushuang being split into the ground below instantly. Really terrible. You know, just now the Elder of the Thunder God Palace and the 2 leaders of the Blood Thunder Army joined hands. They have no way to take a sword. However, the Lord of the Thunder God Palace just crushed Jian Wushuang with just an axe. At the same time, the ultimate dominator, the throne of the Thunder Palace, is definitely not just a little stronger than the elders of the Thunder Palace and the throne of the Blood Thunder Army. The master named Blood Sword, is it dead? So terrible axe, split directly on the body. He is only a 3rd-level master. Even if he is not dead, I am afraid it will not be better. Tell him to provoke me at Thunder Palace. In my opinion, he's dead. Many practitioners of the Thunder God Palace talked about each other and looked at the pits on the ground below. Suddenly, a flash of lightning appeared from the bottom pit and appeared in the blink of an eye in the blink of an eye. It is indeed the Lord of the Thunder God Palace. This strength is much stronger than other ultimate masters. The hearty laughter echoed in this world. And looking at Jian Wushuang reappearing in the void, feeling the slightest weakening of Jian Wushuang's body, the eyes of the many strong men in Thunder Palace were straight. How come? If you don't die, why are you so active? His breath is not weakened at all? Didn't he just hurt him by that axe? Many of the strong men in Thor's palace have eyes widened and their faces are incredible. This is impossible. The elders of Thunder God Palace and the leader of the Blood Thunder Army also issued a scream of appetite. They are the ultimate lords, and they all have the best quality rule armor of the treasure, but even if they both bear the axe that the Lord of the Thunder God has just received, they will definitely be injured, and the damage will not be light. And Jian Wushuang, although the combat power is not much weaker than them, but how can it be just a third-level master? A third level dominates. Shouldn't their body care ability be comparable to them? How could it bear that axe and be intact? This boy. The eyes of the Lord of the Thunder God Palace also narrowed slightly. In fact, the shock in his heart was not inferior to that of the elders of Thunder Palace and the Blood Thunder Army, but Jian Wushuang, who reappeared in front of him, really did not look like an injury. Is this kid with some kind of special treasure, such as some powerful anti-elixir, which can instantly restore the injury? The Lord of the Thunder God could not help but think, but his look will soon recover again. See if you really have that great capacity. The Lord of the Thunder God Palace shot again, and raised the giant axe in his hand, but the moment when the giant axe was raised, the momentum was even greater. The aura of destruction condensed in that giant axe was also more intense. With the thunder of the Lord of the Thunder God Palace, the giant axe in his hand broke again. The same axe that crushes people with force, without any fancy. Some are stronger and more powerful. It's awful. The axe shadow is mighty, and once again falls in front of Jian Wushuang. But this time the sword unparalleled, but did not intend to use the sky to expand the sword style, but directly triggered the sword array. A special wave of energy spreads. Special swords surged wildly, forming a strong and tough sword domain. In a short moment of effort, the sword has gathered nearly 100 ground sword areas without double-sided fronts, and these ground sword areas are also perfectly combined in a special way to form a huge and complete Earth Guard sword array. Jian Wushuang's strongest body protection trick, the Earth guards the sword array. This sword array, with Jian Wushuang's continuous application of the laws of the universe, and then perfectly combined with Kendo, the power is much stronger than before. This sword array is definitely the strongest body protection method of Jian Wushuang. Boom! The axe carrying the mighty power finally came to the front of Jian Wushuang, and directly bombarded the Earth Guardian sword array. At this moment, the entire Earth Guardian sword array began to tremble madly, and the heavy King Sword realm was successively defeated. With just a blink of an eye, the entire Earth Guardian sword formation collapsed for the most part, but the power of the giant axe was still extremely powerful and continued to impact. Finally, the entire Earth Guardian sword formation was defeated. The Earth Guardian sword formation was split open by the axe shadow. My Earth guarded the sword array, but was defeated? Jian Wushuang murmured secretly, but not surprised. After all, it is the ultimate master of the top level, and he has performed a trick, and it is normal to open his protective sword array. Only after the axe shadow defeated the Earth Guardian sword formation, most of the power was consumed. Although the remaining power continued to pass through, it could pass through the weakening of the sword-to-body surface of the legal system to the treasure armor, and then truly passed to the sword-to-sword. There is not much left on the divine body. The sword deity's body is also comparable to the rule of inferior goods, and it is not a big deal to endure this blow. On the bright side, after Jian Wushuang accepted the axe, he was just split back a long distance, and then stood still again. Jian Wushuang still had a smile on his face. Lord of the Thunder Gods, Did the axe just be your strongest blow? If your strength really is like this, then I am afraid that you will be disappointed today. Just this strength, don't talk about killing me, you can't even hurt me. Although Jian Wushuang's words sounded crazy, what he said was indeed the truth. The attack of the Lord of the Thunder God Palace did not hurt him. The many powerful men in Thor's palace are completely shocked at this moment. He didn't even get hurt? I took the axe of the palace master from the front just like nothing else? The breath has not weakened at all. Where is this blood sword from the monster? Not only are the powerful men of the Thunder Temple, but also the 3 ultimate masters of the Thunder Temple. The 3 masters of the Thunder Palace, the elder of the Thunder Palace, and the main leader of the Blood Thunder Army are all gloomy at this moment. Especially the Lord of Thors. If you say the first axe before, the Lord of the Thunder God Palace also doubts whether Jian Wushuang is posing or has been severely damaged, but it immediately restored the instant elixir or special treasure. But the second axe just cast, he can clearly see the process from beginning to end. There is no pretense, no treasure that can swallow any restoration power. Jian Wushuang took his axe purely stiffly, but was not injured at all. Mando Sword, you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.